Kelvin, did you ever play Pathfinder with the Mythic rules?
No, man, I never played Pathfinder. Period.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No. That's not true. I played Pathfinder one time.
Sure.
One.
Just the Mythic rules kind of just make everything go to that next level of 11.
You know, I mean, I liked 3.5. I just also, I don't know. I did it. But Pathfinder's not terrible. The thing I like about Pathfinder is they have like 8,000 classes.
Yeah, they have something for literally anything you want.
I think that's so much fun.
Ricky, you were looking at my Pathfinder character that I accidentally posted.
That looks like a Wookiee, unless Wookiees exist in Pathfinder.
It was I'm a baboon man. I'm a
monkey man. Yeah.
What are they? Or no, the Venaras. You're supposed to be a monkey, but I'm a baboon for some reason. And I'm what was it? I'm some weird time thief, which doesn't mean anything. It's just like, hey, you get a couple extra D4s here and there. But the narrative though can get really good.
Nice.
All right.
I think we're doing Wrath of the Righteous, the adventure path, which is like a 1 to 20 plus all the mythic tiers. Like you literally turn into a god as you're like trying to push back the demon hordes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Although my build started to come online, so now it's like there's a pretty big discrepancy. And like I 100% didn't optimize. Like I went like, okay, like not gonna do that.
I can't believe that any real war
William, I think you're on already.
Yes, we are live. We're just not recording yet.
Yeah.
I don't believe that any.
So is this the no curse moment?
Can't not optimize in some way, right? Like you're I think any real wargamer is going to at least have a functionally good character, even if you're not going like the full Monty.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't imagine you ever having an incompetent RPG character.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's correct. I'm like a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, whereas a Magus normally is a 10, without question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't have any worry that guy's not effective.
But there's like one guy that's playing a very complex class, and he's not very good at doing those things, and he just wants to be there and have fun, right? Like, and he's having fun, which is fine. It's just he's basically worthless. So it's like his combat round is like, I did 20 damage, guys. Look at me, and I was like, I did 200 last round. Like, come on, man. Like,
that's always the worst. Is when people take 8,000 years on their turn to come up with an awful decision, like an awful and boring decision. Like, I feel like the longer you take, the more awesome your turn has to be, or you just wasted everybody's time. I'm dealing with that right now. Oh, guys, people don't know how to do their spells and stuff. It's like, come on. Like, I don't know. That's every RPG though. That's
for sure.
Certainly, that's RPGs that are as complex as like D&D and Pathfinder, that kind of chunky game.
Well, I've been trying to convince our like party wizard that it's like we have a heavy melee Magus, my character, and a heavy melee paladin, and it's like you will never do more damage with a spell than those guys will do. You need to augment them to do even more damage, because like when you give us extra attacks, each of those extra attacks hits for one of your spells at least, right? And that we get it for 10 rounds or something like that.
Yeah, listen to the Gold Squadron podcast. Screw you, we're talking RPGs for an hour. We do what we want.
Yeah, we're just we already
You think we're locked in here with you, but you're locked in here with us. You made your own decisions.
It looks like we got a couple of people jumping in on here already. I can't look at the chat, so I'm gonna give you guys.
I'll look at chat. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you guys got to monitor chat because I don't know how Dion gets it on.
Wait, there's a chat.
Yeah, you go to Twitch.
Go
to Twitch.tv.
We're live on Twitch.
Oh, I'm gonna talk to people.
Yes, please do. Once we start recording, by the way, it better be flawless because I am not editing this.
Yeah,
I'm sending it.
We haven't
right to
edited
Dion.
in over a year. Thanks.
Hey! Hold up. I definitely add music to the front and the back, and sometimes cut stuff from the front or the back. Tyler, that is technically editing.
That's true.
I didn't realize you have video going. Check out the picture there.
Is it Chewbacca and C-3PO?
Oh, it's the whole cast.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do see it now. All right. Actually, our Twitch looks good. I plugged in directly. I'm in some weird place.
Right.
Which is
I hope
my
your
living
internet
room.
doesn't break this time.
I
No,
don't
no,
want
we
to
got
know
it.
what weird place you're in, Will. We can just
I'm-
keep that between you and the internet.
It's my downstairs. No, we got a new router and I'm plugged right into it, and we are getting green lights across the board for streaming. So should be awesome. I even put a little Vader pick there. To
Vader sucks.
well, we'll save that for content.
That's what we're calling it this week.
Yeah, content. Marcel, I need you to do one thing while I grab a drink.
What is
There's a list in our notes. Poe,
Brought to you
Ray,
by
Finn.
Coors Light.
Full rate. Where? I don't see it.
It's like black.
Oh, the list of the week?
Yeah, can you put that in Yasby and copy the link in there?
Sure.
Um,
My free sub is ready. I shall go ahead and sub. Look at
Yeah.
that, Twitch Prime.
Nice. Then if you guys, I see some of you already filling in the notes.
Hooray,
fill in-
Finn.
Fill in as much as you can, like strengths and weaknesses, anything you got. So to make sure that we don't forget later on. But I feel we're all pretty competent. And there's nothing. When was the last ship due for the Empire?
Where's the who, the what, and the where, and the why?
What?
The
Are you talking about the
gunboat?
last one the Empire got?
The gunboat is the newest Empire ship.
No.
Well, are you talking second edition or are you talking about in general?
Sure.
No, they
second
got
edition.
the hyperspace was the rack.
Yeah,
going
because
hyperspace.
yeah, it was the well, I thought the Decimators were live. They were just too expensive to run.
They
Maybe
weren't
I'm-
hyperspace. They were
Oh,
extended. They weren't
yeah.
hyperspace.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
over.
they just they
This
get
is the sort of
they're the
things
last.
I pay
But they've-
attention to.
All right, so let me ask you this: they
I'm
haven't
gonna
had a
grab
new
some
ship
water.
that doesn't come in the conversion kit.
Correct. No, we haven't had anything new.
All right,
No.
so, well, wait, Reaper. Reaper's the newest ship. We can,
Yes.
pretty much.
That is what burned down 1.0.
Did it? All right, I guess range 2 jamming did.
No, no, you know what burned down 1.0?
Do you not remember Gen Con?
Oh yeah, that's fair. No, I don't. I
happened
try to
at that
block that out.
People will tell you it was Ghost Fen. That's because all the Reaper players left because we didn't want to go to Nova. Looking at you, Josh Holt.
Over my head.
Over your head? Josh Holt won Nova with Ghost Fen? That was
No,
like
I
the
mean,
last
he was-
1.0 tournament?
No, I meant the other part, like the Reaper.
Yeah, it was just double Reaper Ace. Pretty much was like the list. Turns out guidance chips on primary weapon attacks are pretty good.
Guidance chips on primary weapon attacks.
Yeah, Vermile. One I can range true jam you and use the jamming crew to like jam off another token from someone close to that guy, and one white turns on the Reaper. Yeah, it was super dumb.
I'm trying to do this
I'm trying-
list here.
I'm trying to get this. Yeah, actually, Tyler. No, can you make at least one or two of these known archetype lists and put them copy the links in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll give you the best three Empire lists.
Man, I'm trying to figure out how to get these.
The
Trying to get these things off of Hangouts.
Probably best
here.
four. But oh, come on now, rack +1, get that out of there. We don't need meme lists. We don't need meme lists in here, sir.
Oh no, we're leaving it on there.
It's
That's
so
a list
bad.
to talk about. Yeah.
Is it?
I'll fight you with it.
Okay. How well did that go last time when you tried to
It's
counter
called
me?
you out.
Huh?
I said, how well did that go last time? Mr. Wrangler Cannon Lebo.
Oh yeah, that was Lebo though. Come on. I get points for trying. I get points for using Lebo.
Hey, Lebo was good for that.
Hey,
like,
wait.
remember?
I'll give you this one, Tyler. Who was the last one to win an actual meaningful game with Asajj against 2 in 2.0?
I mean, you beat me with Han. Was it Asajj?
Yeah, it was Hanasaj.
Yeah.
There you go.
I kind of want to put Tie Swarm
With
again
the what's the
on the
1 in
three
200 shot?
spaces, Tie Swarm
Okay.
and Tie Swarm. It's like you have to get complicated. It's
All right. Is that the list? Okay. All right. Where'd William go?
I'm still
Ready?
here. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm ready.
Activate
yes,
the chat for people.
I am activate. What do you mean activate the chat?
The people are saying activate the chat for the people.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know what app Dion does for that.
You just you're using OBS, right?
Yeah.
Just drag the chat to your screen, to the part that you're sharing.
What?
In OBS, like a separate chat box comes out. You just drag that into your screen.
No. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. That is not how this works.
I'm telling you guys, you just got to use Craig. He's the best thing ever.
Hey, I mean, we do what Dion says. This is welcome to our life. Dion tells us the rules, and we have to abide by them.
There was rules?
Yeah, man.
Well,
I'm sure. I
guess.
think. I don't know. I don't know what yours are.
I just need to pull a question from our Discord. And
I said rack +1, so you throw in the rack whisper. Funny.
Rack Whisper's the only one that works, and it's still not good.
It's rack Rexlar.
I don't believe you.
Actually, like
And the only reason it works is because Trick Shot, Collision Detector, Stealth Device Whisper is just bonkers with gas clouds. Like, you're heavily leaning on that part of it. It's just you shove rack into people's faces.
Marcel, you didn't put that squad
did.
list in there.
Oh wait, I built it. I just didn't copy
Please-
it. Okay, I got
please
it built
put it in
up.
there. We got list of the week. We got question of the week. Thank you, Tyler, getting some things in there. We got you need a what are the ships we could talk about every pilot in? Is there a ship that TIE fighter, I guess?
The one thing you got to remember about TIE fighters, though, is there are so many TIE fighters.
Well, we don't have to go through each one. I just want to, because like saying TIE Advanced, we're not really talking about TIE Advanced. We're talking about Vader.
Hey William, look at the screen. It says to create, go to OBS, create a new window, and set it to the chat, and put that somewhere in the screen.
Go to OBS.
Create a new window.
Open a window.
Create a new window through OBS. On the bottom left, there's usually like create a window.
Like a source?
Do you know what you would want for triple aces anymore?
I think you still could go with Vader, Sunter, and
Duchess.
And Duchess, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
still got
Duchess is
plenty.
like the mini ace. You can
Yeah, I
do
mean-
stuff with like Whisper, Soonter, Redline, like Plasma Torp Redline.
Mhm.
That's pretty scary.
Marcel, I see sources. I don't see what you're talking about.
All right, it's okay. We'll look at the screen.
Sorry, chat. I don't care. I mean, I do care. I love you guys, but we just gotta start recording. Yep. Looks good. Everything is green lights here. I'm gonna say that I'm the host.
Dion sent a photo to the group. Let's see what he's.
Oh,
talking
you know
about.
what? You reminded me. That's who I need. I need Dion here.
He's sending us a picture of him drinking.
Okay.
So he's having fun.
No, I want this picture of Dion. This is a much better picture of Dion.
All right.
Let me move the logo here.
God damn it.
I'm ready to talk Empire.
Yeah.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Yep, we got Dion in there. We are 3, 2, 1.
Actually, I can-
Recording. This is episode 117 of Gold Squadron Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, William Hegwood, and tonight I'm joined by Marcel Manzano.
I think we're gonna crash and burn without Dion today.
Nah, man, you got it.
Alright, we also have from Scum and Villainy, Richard White.
What's up, Galactic Colonist? We're here to take over this ship, and I don't know. This is our ship now. Sorry.
Isn't it Calvin Tiberius?
Yeah. What are you talking about today, Tyler? Like, this is our ship now, right?
We also have Tyler Tippett from Scum and Villainy.
Hey, what's up, HoloNet? Gold Squadron HoloNet.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Yeah. I mean, so it's Calvin Tiberius and Hero of the Empire, and today we're talking about. What are we talking about, Will?
We're continuing our faction breakdown, and tonight we're doing Imperials.
Yeah, we're cheering for the good guys this time.
It's one way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
And I think we're just gonna jump right into it. And I want to start with basically important ships. I think the most iconic one gonna be the TIE Fighter. I'm gonna Richard, what makes the TIE Fighter the iconic ship for the Empire?
Well, if you think about when the game actually came out, the reason why you wanted to buy it, right, was a X-Wing versus a TIE Fighter. There's the video game X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. When you were a little kid, what did you dream of? Typically, unless you were a psychopath, you dreamed of being the X-Wing shooting down like a horde of TIE Fighters. And I think that is I mean, that's the reason why, like, they keep making it good, is because it's really fun to see on the table. There's a million reasons why the TIE Fighter is important.
Well, they haven't really changed it pretty much at all, have they?
Yeah, Tyler was talking about that the other day. You were talking like, look, this feels like playing a Wave 1 list. Or
No.
no, first edition list.
Yeah, no, like not like Wave 1 first edition list. Yeah, like
You're just,
you.
like, hanging out. And, like, I've played this before for 7 years.
Well, it's not the like anybody can play it. It was, I forget what I was playing into, but it was like you had like B-wings, right?
Mhm.
So now all these rebel ships can all barrel roll, and that used to be the thing that like the TIE Fighter could do. That was cool. Like, okay, sure, all right. And then I get one action on all my ships, whereas everybody else has linked actions into cool stuff. I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll just stay here with my crappy old TIE Fighters that still are good, but they don't get to do any fun stuff. Like, we didn't get sloops, we didn't get any of that kind of stuff. They're just literally the same ship.
You keep Howl Runner. That was your gift. Like, into second editions, everybody else's stuff was taken away.
Oh no! Our gift was getting Iden. Let's be real here.
plus
We
Iden.
know what that is.
Yeah, I think you just said something weird to me. You said, you remember when you used to play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You know, I was graduating from high school.
Yeah, that's still a kid in my mind. I think you're a kid until like 20 something.
Yeah, 25.
Well, if you're-
That's when your brain
Okay,
stops
I'll
developing.
take it because I was actually not to go off topic. I'll go off topic for just
we're
half a
going
second.
off. We're going off.
Oh yeah,
topic.
we're going. But look, check this out right here.
I
You
have
see this
20
right here?
minutes for RPGs.
You see that right there? Look at
I
that.
hope that's a
bad boy.
joystick for computer games.
Yes, that is a joystick, William.
Okay.
Oh,
Never
I've
mind.
got
So-
my HOTAS floating around.
No,
here.
what I was saying is I downloaded X-Wing versus TIE Fighter from Steam, and I started playing it. I found my old joystick, so I might actually be.
Game's still good, huh?
Yeah, it's still good, and like every single key in the keyboard means something. Like target that, do
Mhm,
this, do
mhm.
that,
That's flight
inspect
simulator.
this. I'm like, man. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I love that game. So that's part of the reason why the TIE Fighter is so iconic, right? Is you're used to it. I mean, you're used to killing that.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it's important to the game, and it's important because of bringing new players in, just like the X-Wing. But I think it's also just good. You know, going back on topic, is just a good ship. I mean, it's 3 agility, super cheap, hard to kill, and it seems to always roll. Everybody hates evade dice, but for some reason, TIE Fighters just seem TIE Fighters and little trade drones not flown by D just seem to always roll green die. I mean, evades for some reason. They're just you could never kill them.
Well,
Or
TIE
Z95 by
TIE fighters trade really, really well for the they like, especially with Hal Runner. They're just trading really, really well.
Yeah.
All right.
So all right.
There's two other important ships. The other one we have it here on screen.
So what do you mean by important?
Well, iconic. I think might be the
Okay.
the word we'll use for Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X1.
All right, I want to clarify this. Are we talking iconic to the game of X-Wing or iconic to Star Wars?
I think the people want to know, like, what can they put on the table and when? So the TIE Fighter I see,
Well,
TIE Advance I see.
We're going through. Let's start with the most notable ships. What people will see on the table. You don't think they'll see TIE Advanced on the table?
Yeah, of course they will. I mean,
you'll see A TIE Advanced. You
A
won't see
TIE
any other.
Advanced.
Yeah, you'll see a TIE Advance. I agree.
Yep.
And you will see a Phantom. No, actually, you'll see more Phantoms. Yeah, you'll see a TIE Advance.
Yep. Normally, it's the Dark Lord of the Sith himself, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Flying it. And I think that's one of the strengths of the Empire is that they have those high initiative pilots. And Vader just Tyler, I'm sure Tyler, tell me about Vader. Why is Vader good?
I mean, Vader just by like without any other upgrades outside of really afterburners, you kind of need, right? You don't have to have afterburners, but it's really, really good, and it's hard to pass up at 6 points. Just afterburners, Vader is really solid. He hits like a truck. He's hard to kill. He's got that ace play in the game kind of a thing, so that's good. You just also have a lot of options of doing other really cool stuff with him. Sense is just bonkers. Is way too good for what it does, and not enough people are playing it, so we didn't see it. We saw it go down on points, of all things.
Yeah, I really like the afterburners on him, especially now with gas clouds.
Yeah,
because you can
exactly.
You can trigger his ability you can trigger his ability off of afterburners, and you can trigger afterburners off of gas clouds as long as your template doesn't touch it.
No, you 100%. Well, yes, as long as the boost template doesn't touch it, correct. But that's not just gas clouds, that's rocks as well as debris clouds and all that kind of stuff. So that's all fine. It's just...
Well, yeah, debris works halfway. Debris can't use his ability, though.
Right.
But you don't have to roll for damage on a gas cloud, though.
Right. Well, as I say, but you playing aces, you would want to take gas clouds anyway, just because just having auto thrusters is just awesome, right? Like...
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I'm so glad that's back.
Right?
No, you can play around with it now, though. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Right.
But so so Sense is very, very good on him in a number of ways. It could let you get away from not having a bid. It can, it allows you to bring things like generic TIE fighters, like we were just talking about. Like you can run Vader with a flanking set of Academy TIEs, and that's very good, right? So that's cool and thematic. If you put Vader into like more of a brawler ace role, he can, like hate is still really good on him. Right, like just give him force back anytime you drain some force. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. FCS, very good. Collision detector, I feel like is probably pretty awesome, but I don't think you need it. I think you know what I mean. That's kind of like going too far down the rabbit hole.
Sure, maybe.
So there's lots of options.
Maybe collision detector if you are like in a 3-ship build or something and really need to maximize his maneuverability.
Yeah, it's possible. Like you just want to ignore a rock for a turn or something like that. But
sure.
So. No, he's very good. He's hard to pin down. I like him with Sense. Obviously, I've been preaching that everywhere. Cool. I think that's way too good of an ability. Like, it's range 3. Look at someone's dial. Like that's pretty bonkers.
Well, the fact that he's initiative 6 already, he's gonna see a lot of people's dials before he moves, anyways.
Yeah, that's not why it's good. It's range 3.
I understand.
You know what I mean? Like,
but yes.
Because it's you aren't looking at people's dials for Vader. You're looking at people's dials for everybody
else. The TIE fighters, the TIE fighters. Block,
Yeah, so in an interesting way, you're turning an ace into a support ship then.
Yeah. So if you, what time did you start playing 1.0? What wave did you get in on?
Right after Decimator and Dash came out.
Okay,
I
so yeah,
was created when the old gods were made.
Yeah, I flew before, back in the day when there was only 2 factions.
Right. No, so about like wave 7, wave 6-ish time frame, we saw a lot of Whisper with Intel Agent with a mini swarm flying fire. And this plays exactly the same way. So the whole idea is that mini swarm is just to keep Vader alive, just like it was to keep Whisper alive back then. And just
and TIE fighters trade really well.
They do, but also it's comical how easy it is to block somebody that is a key like token when you have 3 to 4 TIE fighters when you know where they're going. If I have to guess where they're going with the barrel rolls and whatnot, like that's, you can overroll, they can get out. If I know where they're going, I only roll one of them and the other 3 TIE fighters focus and just shoot that guy range 1. Right? Like it's just, you just murder things.
Yeah, TIE fighters turns out are still really good blockers. And actions are important in second edition. It is easier to block in second edition, I think.
There's less passive
I don't think it's
things.
easier to block. I think it's more impactful when you do get a block.
Yeah. Okay. I buy that. I buy that.
But I also think it's more impactful, but it's actually starting to become a little less impactful with the Force because with ships that have the Force, ships that have advanced sensors or supernatural, it makes it a little bit harder, but also makes it mean a little bit less when you block because you're not actually getting rid of.
You're actually taking your own shot away at that point.
Yeah, you're taking your own shot away, and you're not really getting rid of their main modification, which is a focus token, which is kind of the go-to on basically it's like the go-to action whenever you're not, whenever you don't know what to do. Hey, you have a Force.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I agree. So where were we?
We're talking about Vader.
We're gonna, let's.
Yeah, Vader's good, Gal.
Yeah, Vader, he's good. He's also squishy if you don't use him right. But
that's
good.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean it's still 3 agility with 3 force, right? Like behind it, like that's surprisingly tanky on 5 hit points. That should take a decent number of shots. Now,
so
variance can happen.
Arcs. If you're not dodging arcs, that can go down.
Well, no, I'm saying even if you're like just him taking 2 to 3 shots, he should be taking 2 to 3 shots before he gets into like trouble, right?
Yeah.
Now you can always have that day where it's like you roll 6 blanks and you go, oh, okay, cool. There goes my 75 point, 80 point ship. But yeah.
That's good. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to die.
Yeah, right.
So actually, let's talk about one ship that got a big nerf. A big nerf 2 times in a row. But I think it's kind of like akin to the old Jump Master. They're gonna keep hitting it with a stick, but it's still gonna keep coming back, which was a Phantom. So the Phantoms plus their go-to upgrade, the Juke, got another slap in the back of the hand for the second points change in a row. But I actually think the Phantom's still in a pretty good spot, and even the Phantom Juke, like 3 Phantom Jukes with plus
Gideon.
1. Yeah, you can use Gideon. You can use. I've seen people use Night Beast. I've seen people use Countdown.
I love that people are using Night Beast.
Wait, you can fit Countdown? You can't fit Countdown.
No. You can use a generic striker. I'm sorry, a generic striker.
Yeah. I was like, you're gonna give me Countdown? Excuse me.
No. A generic striker, Night Beast, which is the one that gets the free focus. Basically, he's focus evaded.
Yeah. He can take double actions.
So I mean, there's
shot a lot.
There's options, but 3 of them, because if you think about it, the quad Phantom lists of just last month really only had 3 Jukes in it, and the Juke is what makes that list work. So you can still get 3 Phantoms with Juke.
I don't think that's what makes the ship work. I think the decloak is what makes it work. Juke
the whole combination is what made it broken.
The whole thing is very very strong.
Because
if you look at even Adepticon earlier this year, Brandon, Tyler, you played against him. Brandon made it with 3 plus somebody. Countdown is better than some of the options, but it still is 3 plus something that is not a Phantom.
Well, he also had
still legitimate.
Yeah, no. So I agree that that's 3 plus 1 is okay. Like Juke isn't what made it broken. Juke is what made it consistent, which made it able to get through multiple rounds of a 11-round, 12-round tournament.
The variance is still high. Is still there. Like they're still good, but the variance is a lot higher now because of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you because if that was the case, if Juke was not what made it, like a lot of Jukes is not what made it broken, then you can say, well, 4 Phantoms without Juke.
Well, but we saw 3 Mdars and Vader that didn't have any Juke also rip up things repeatedly.
Yeah, but like I mean, you're going to Vader. Like you're taking a jump to Vader. I mean, you yourself were just preaching Vader and 3.
Yeah, he hits hard, but it's just Vader. It wasn't.
Yeah, but you were saying Vader and 3 generic TIE fighters. Now you're
going supercharge those TIE fighters into freaky blocky Phantoms.
Yeah. Like,
okay. Hold on. Hey, you don't have sense in that list. And
oh my God!
You also had Soontir in the sense list. Like you had 2 aces there, not just 1. Or 5 academies, right? Like you had 5 TIE fighters. So I will. Juke is very good, but Juke is not what put that list over the top. It was the raw efficiency of Phantoms that put that list over the top.
If we're using the phrase "over the top," I imagine that I don't know that certainly is what turned it into an unbeatable list, but it's still an incredibly good list.
Yeah, and like I said, 3 of them or 4 Phantoms are still, and I'm not, it's not just Whisper Phantoms, generic Phantoms are still good, and somebody who takes 3 of them plus plus throwing a filler in there that fits within the points can very, not easily, but can very realistically get 5-6 wins on 4 or 5 wins in a 6 Swiss tournament.
If your decloaks are on point, you can do well, and if you avoid lists that can hunt one of those Phantoms really, really well. But yeah, I mean, the thing still hunts.
So I think basically I think it's still going to be a good list. You're totally right there. I think what's going to end up happening is, whereas before you had 4 Phantoms, even if one had crack shot, you had 4 Phantoms, right? So you had 4 token stack ships that come in, and if you ran into aces, you still had a good trade against the aces. Whereas now you're going to have like one of your Phantom goes down, so now it's Gideon +2, and that's not going to be anywhere near like the 3 Phantoms, even if one of them was still your crackshot Phantom. You know what I mean? Like you would still always take a Sigma over Gideon if you like
you could.
So in the ace battle, it's gonna, against things that are like low pilot skill rebels, so like rebel swarms or whatnot, you're still gonna be just fine. So it's just gonna have more of a couple more predatory matchups that are going to be harder now than before.
Yeah, but I think the other big difference is that towards the end of this last phase, people were basically teching against it. They were building things specifically to beat the Phantoms. Now 3 Phantoms with Juke plus other things.
What was teched against Phantoms?
Well, for starters, the Hatchet Man was basically an anti-Phantom list. The list that I was flying,
the Hatchet Man list that also like had a hard counter and Rebel Beef, which was 50% of the field. Like, come on now.
Yeah, but people were bringing that specifically for the Phantoms. That's the whole thing. And like the Alpha Strike one that I was bringing was basically cleaning out Phantoms, but having tough matchups against other things.
Sure.
So there was plenty of things, and people aren't going to bring that specifically thinking they're going to run into Phantoms. So I think Phantoms will probably get a lot more matchups that are kind of toss-ups, things that aren't specifically built to beat them.
That's fair.
So to round out this Phantom discussion, you guys, it seems like it's unanimous that we're going to continue to see the Phantoms, and they're continuing to, even with the points changes, are still going to be a predominant ship for the Empire in Extended.
It's certainly still viable. I don't know if it's going to be the best Empire list, but I think it's, if I saw someone make the cut, I wouldn't be surprised. Or something. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, people tend to run away from a ship that just got nerfed until they see somebody else do with it. That's what usually takes it back. Like once they figure out, like whenever something gets nerfed a little bit, it takes one person to say, "No, this is still good," show them how to do it, and then that's when everybody jumps back on the bandwagon usually.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're gonna hit into we're gonna drop the single ship discussions and just hit more.
You don't want to talk about the Lambda shuttle, the best ship in the entire game?
I mean,
Man, hyperspace win.
I'm gonna figure out how to run 4. That's like my only goal is to figure out how to run 4 and just.
How many points are left in that list?
I don't know. I'll
How many
figure.
points are left? They're 43 a point.
Oh, you got plenty of stuff.
You
So you got
tons of points.
28?
Guys.
In there.
Yeah.
Get a couple
good.
force using crew.
What do you mean? Yeah, you don't put a TIE fighter in there. You put Psi and then crew and upgrades.
Maybe Sloane?
No, you want Sloane with TIE fighters. You don't want Sloane with.
So Sloane works really, really well against a lot of the field because a lot of stuff out there stresses themselves right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like you don't necessarily need it for the double stress mechanic. You use it for the predator mechanic on a.
Yeah, that'd be, and it's easy to hide a Lambda in the back. So I think, to your point, I think the best upgrades for Lambdas are just a force user.
So for the record, you can do Psi, Jinden, Kagi, and regular Omicron pilot, and have crew left.
See.
So Psi's, I'm doing this. I'm taking this over. So you have ST321 on Psi, right? So that's an automatic thing. And then you have 12 points left.
You almost have to bring
Palpatine.
I don't think you want. I think you keep Omicrons on the other. It's Psi in the back and 3 Omicrons. You don't need the other tech. It doesn't help you much.
You can fit.
Well, Jinden's giving you double mods on your shots.
Jinden doesn't do anything because Lambdas don't have target lock.
Oh, right.
And you don't care if someone torps you because you have shields for days.
So one of these is going to be Vader then.
I don't know if you don't have points for that.
Yeah, I do. I've got Psi, 2 Omicrons, and Kagi. And
you don't need Kagi.
Why? He'll keep Psi alive.
What about
Psi's already in the back? It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna throw out a good suggestion for you. What about Moff Gerard? Let's get these Lambdas
100%. Yes, that is the right answer.
What does Moff do?
Every other turn you could boost all
what
of
does
your
it
ships.
in the system phase?
Yep.
You get red boost.
Is Palpatine good in this? Yeah, maybe.
No, actually, I like that Vader and Moff, and then just throw a.
I think Vader's too expensive for this because it's too easy to evade one of their arcs. You want to look at cheaper.
Actually, I don't agree
with that.
Because you've got 2 arcs.
Yeah,
you've got 2 arcs, and you've got 3 other big base ships that are basically clogging up space. Yeah, I actually think Darth Vader is pretty easy to land with 4 big base ships.
Well, let me put it this way: if you want Psi, ST321, and Moff, you can't afford Vader already. So.
No.
No, yeah, you can. You can just take 4 Omicron pilots, Moff, Vader, and you still got 6 points to play with.
Right, but you would rather have Psi and the title on Psi. Like, Psi is just too good because Psi is going to be giving people.
I regret nothing about this conversation.
Psi is going to be giving people
full disclosure.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta move off of 4 Lambdas. It's an interesting dive.
I regret nothing.
Yeah, that's fine. I would love to see.
Hey, Will.
Yes.
The stream is having a hard time hearing you, so either put your mic close. Hearing you.
I will put my mic closer and give myself a little bit more gain.
Right.
Maximum gain.
All right. Yeah, we will talk about the Deci also.
All right.
Somebody. We have a non-believer here, but we'll show them what's true.
All right. All right. So we got to cover more generic strengths that the chassis themselves have in common amongst each other. I think I'm going to start with probably the most predominant thing that the Empire has is actually high agility. I believe that
Decimator.
Well, okay, they have one ship that it has it.
We were just talking about the Lambda shuttle.
All right, well, moving away from large bases, I would say that most of their small bases have higher agility, getting to that 3 agility, than any other faction. Most ships are around 2 agility.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. You guys, is that a strength?
I think outside of the Punisher, which is again medium base, it's not like the B-wings or the Gans and stuff like that. They have things that are doing their. I mean, they're relying on on agility a lot more than any other faction, I would say.
Okay. Well, what about high pilot skill? I would probably say that they have two of the most dominant initiative sixes right now, Darth Vader and soon to Fel.
Mm-hmm.
I'd agree with that.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, they got
Anakin's up there, right? Like,
yeah, because you got Anakin, you got Poe,
they're both capable. Is how I would view it. Is they're both
fieldable.
Yeah, they're both capable. I wouldn't call them the best.
Careful, you're gonna offend Tyler.
No, I totally agree. No, not at all. From a single like ace perspective, I would say like Anakin's just a better in-game ace. Poe is a better in-game ace.
Poe was who I was thinking of too.
Yeah.
Like he could just do some things if he wanted to. Like if he could move after Vader, he could do some things to him.
Yeah, actually, I think one of the strengths for being. Sorry, what?
Oh, I'm talking to. Tippin and I are taking over this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what sense is good for Vader, though. You can like if you're going anti ace, you can at least know where they're going to be to block. I'm picking up Tyler's vibes right now. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Sorry, I'm signing up for a volleyball tournament for Saturday. It's
fine.
very important.
I think you're transitioning into another one of their strengths, which is the TIE fillers.
I was going to say volleyball.
What? No. What?
I think that you're really missing the point. It's not TIE fillers. It's the TIE period. The TIE is like the strength of the Empire.
I actually think that what's really keeps the TIE, not just the TIE, just the Empire good consistently is their just their overall number of tricks. I mean, I actually kind of match them up a little bit more to some of this what the scum is trying to do. A lot of the scum stuff is trying to come up with tricks to block, to we talked about it last week. Just do a lot of things to confuse you and basically play tricks on you. But a lot of the stuff that the Empire actually has that built in, and they have a lot more variety. They have more ships and things with Sloane to double stress you, Rack who can do this stuff, bad stuff to you. You've got Vader. We talked about the Reaper a little bit before the cast started, being able to jam and just do a lot of. I mean, there's just a lot of variety in the Empire right now between the crew and the ships.
It has the best jousting list in the game.
Oh, what?
Just the TIE Swarm.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say something silly.
The six main.
No. Like I'm not like this isn't. It isn't like the Empire isn't really complicated. It's Vader, Soontir, and then the greatest jouster in the game, and you can take your choice of what you want to do.
Yeah, but I think it's more than that. It's Vader, Soontir, the greatest jouster in the game. But I guess it's just got a lot of options. That's Vinder. Vinder's a good ship. Whisper is a good ship.
Whisper is a good ship. Vendor is a meme ship that has happened to have success.
But it has success.
All right, Marcel. I think
I will stand by the fact that it had success from really, really good players playing it, and I know specifically talking to like Andrew, like Bun, not Knuckles, because all the Andrews apparently, that like he would have hands down rather had Whisper in that situation his entire run, and probably would have won the whole thing if he had Whisper.
Yeah, it seems like Marcel, that's the only thing I had down for weaknesses was variety. I think you're getting outvoted here.
Maybe, but I actually think because we're not talking about the Punisher, and I still think the Red Lion is still good. Death Rain is still good.
So
you're talking about the Strikers. The Strikers are still good. They're good for their point cost.
That's not really true, but they have the potential.
Duchess
is good. Countdown is good. Like generic Strikers are not. They are at average.
They're still Strikers. Countdown and Duchess are still Strikers, and they're good and they're cheap. I mean, what are they? 40 something?
Okay, let's back up for a second. Duchess and Countdown versus Lulo. Who would you take every single time? and who was also cheaper than both of those ships.
Well,
I'll give you a
Ludo is
hint,
not
it's
cheaper
the Striker.
anymore.
You
Ludo
sure?
is not,
He still
not
is.
anymore.
Yeah, he
No,
still
he's
is.
43 now.
Yeah, which is still cheaper than Countdown.
Countdown is what?
44.
44? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they
Yeah.
feel cheaper, like they feel better until you actually compare them against other ships, where you're just like, wait, why am I paying this much for a stupid Striker? Like Duchess at 42 is pretty good. She's right on that borderline, which is why you see her in like triple ace lists, and because you can do some really comical crap with Duchess, like Afterburner's Duchess with a proxy mine.
Yeah, I
is
love
just,
proxy mine on it.
it's
Oh yeah,
stupid,
it's
but
hilarious.
what I will say is I do think you are onto something in the sense that there's a lot of unexplored space in Empire that, like, I know a lot of like the big name Empire players like just don't want to spend the time, but like Sienna Ray is probably really good, just nobody's figured it out yet, right? Like I saw a couple of people doing things like I forget who it was, but they made the cut in Arizona, and they had like a Sienna Ray Psi with both trajectory simulator Punishers, right? Like here,
I
let
know
me
what list you're talking
corkscrew this.
about.
Yeah, like let me corkscrew these Punishers back and forth as they barrel roll or boost, and yeah, it's just like that seems like it's got a lot of legs to stand on. It's not my style list. It's not something I enjoy playing, but that doesn't mean it's not. It can't be very good.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think that that's what I'm getting at with variety.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of things that can be good if people put the time to it.
Yeah.
I think people tend to gravitate, for the most part, the majority of the people tend to gravitate to things that are, that somebody else has already tried. Somebody else has already said, oh, this is good. And that's what they go to. But people that come up and think about stuff, there's a lot of things that you can do. Again, with Sloane, with Vader, with ships that have
Death
all
Troopers
kinds of
still really good.
Yeah, Death Troopers. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Same thing with actually, I'm not gonna get into that. I was gonna say First Order. There's options, but
let me ask you guys. Go ahead, Tyler.
I'll say one quick thing. While I agree that there's a lot of people that basically aren't as good in the list building aspect of the game, so they like to take an already proven list. That's because they just want to play like something that is good that they can have fun playing with, which is fine. One of the sure, it's a lot of people. Then there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like if you identify what you're good at and what you're bad at and what you want out of the game, right? Like go with that. I've never got the hate for like, oh, you're a net lister. Like okay, who cares? Whatever. But I will say the other side that Empire is really struggling with is we haven't had a new ship in like the entire edition of this game, like second edition. Like we don't have anything that's new. So people are going, oh, well, there's all this cool new stuff that I've never played with before. So I'm going to go try that now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, we were talking about that, that the Reaper was the newest ship for second edition. And it dramatically changed from first edition to second edition.
Yeah, it's still a good ship, but it's not anywhere near its former burned down first edition.
Let me ask you guys, what's the worst chassis in the Empire right now?
Still the Aggressor, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
It's got to be the Aggressor.
No, the Aggressor is the cheapest barrage rocket carrier now, so it actually has a place. I would say it's the TAP.
The TIE Advanced?
Yeah.
Or we call it the V1 these days.
We still call it a TAP.
I know.
Wait. Is that true?
Is what true?
The Aggressor carries...
Yes. Barrage rocket is the cheapest. It's cheaper than a Scimitar.
Okay, that's 36 points, and Scimitar's 37.
Yep.
And it actually comes with...
but you lose the health, though.
That gives you points, man.
You lose the health, though, Tyler.
Sure. Yeah. I agree. I didn't say it's a great chassis. I just said it's not the worst chassis, which would be the TAP.
You think the V1 is the worst, then why?
It just doesn't do anything at its point cost now. Like, I mean, man, you might be able to like corner case the Inquisitor.
I've been looking at 40 points in a generic Inquisitor, instinctive aim, and ion missile.
Get out of here! Why are you instinctive aiming?
Because it's one point.
Good. It's 1 point. And
I mean,
actually, I was looking at it.
That's a 40-point chassis, man.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you get two of them?
I was looking at two of them, Jendon.
Oh, you get 3 charges. That's not bad. Okay.
2 of those.
Why are you friggin' Jendon? You don't need instinctive aim if you could target lock.
Well, you were just complaining about instinctive aim, so why not have both? Why not both, dude?
I mean,
Maybe got it because you don't always have the lock with Jindin.
sure, that's fair.
And then I was
guess.
rounding out the list with two. What are they? What's the bottom Star Wing? News or Rose?
Oh, sure, gunboats. Yeah, whatever. Generic gunboats.
Yeah, generic gunboats with ion cannons.
Oh man, gunboat. I know they're bad, but like I want them to be good. When they're good,
Man, they're so close to being good.
Man, you know I got those sexy painted ones too. Like
Right?
I'm ready, like for that to come back.
They got 7 health. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not bad, especially for the Empire.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't think you need instinctive aim still, but I don't know, man. Like taps are just I don't know. They're expensive for their point cost.
You know why?
Are we still talking about their weaknesses?
Yeah, this is the last thing on our weaknesses is worst ship. What's their worst ship?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I've been flying. You guys are saying it's the worst. I've actually been flying them a little bit at League and having a blast with them.
Of course you are.
Oh no,
I
so
have.
it's like
So
it's
I've been
a
flying.
fun
Okay,
ship.
so this is
I
what I've been
agree.
flying. I've been flying 3 of them with instinctive aim. You hate it, but concussion missiles. And
I hate that too.
you can hate it all you want, but I've been flying that with that, and then you can still fit a Sense Vader in there.
That's fair.
And yeah, I mean, seriously, instead of 3 TIE fighters, it's 3 instinctive aim concussion missile Inquisitors with a Sense Vader. And
Sure.
it's actually
But
not
remember, it's not with 3 TIE fighters. I get 3 TIE fighters and Soontir.
That's well, no, he was talking Phantoms. He was talking
No,
the
he's
Imdars.
No,
saying
I'm talking
he
about-
gets 3 taps with concussion missiles and Sense Vader.
Yeah, yes, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying it's not the worst. It's not as bad as an aggressor. I think an aggressor is much worse.
We're gonna round out the last thing here before we go into a couple archetypes. So we just discussed that they haven't had a new ship in a while. They only get the kind of generic upgrades that everybody else gets. What do they need? What would you like to see in the Empire?
My honest answer is nothing. They're fine. I don't think we necessarily need more ships.
Yeah, I don't. So I don't think the Empire needs anything. We're not like in a. I don't go like, oh man, I'm hurting to like play an archetype or something like that. Things that I would like to see.
I wish
in
gunboats were
Empire.
actually viable. That's about it.
Man, they're real close. Like I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. They're pretty close. They're in that wholesome tier, right? Like, but
I want some version of of the wood chipper list back again. Always thought that was a good time.
Yeah. So I think so. Okay, so interesting point from Wood Chipper. One of the things Wood Chipper had, and we used to have, was the title for bombers to be able to carry crew. And I think a small base crew carrier would be very good. I mean, I'm jealous of every other faction having a small base coordinate caddy, whereas we have to spend like 40 something plus points on a Lambda or a Reaper to get coordinate into our faction.
Mhm.
I don't know I mean, like we might not need that, right? Like that might be too good. I'll be the first to admit it. I just want it, but
Okay, so that's what they're missing, though. They're missing a cheap coordinate.
Yeah, they don't have a cheap coordinate or a cheap crew carrier. So, and one of the things that I think that would be good for is it will open up a lot more chances for things like that Sienna Ray or the different crew that you just don't see in Empire. And we lost it with the Phantom nerf, right? Like we had a small base crew carrier, but apparently the Phantom was just too good.
And even that was pretty expensive.
Actually,
Yeah.
they do have a cheap coordinator. Not a good one.
What
What is it, like a
how-
squad leader black squadron or something like that?
Yeah, well, like, what do you consider cheap for a coordinator?
I mean, look at Scum. They have a 12-point coordinate ship. Look
Well,
at
that one blows up in 2 turns.
how? I know it blows up in 3 turns. Thank you.
You get
3
a couple
coordinates out
coordinates.
of it.
You get a couple coordinates.
You got the Cethipede and Rebels. Like you've got
That's
which-
30. That's
32.
That's-
32.
Yeah,
Okay, so okay, Black
brought up a good,
Squadron with squad leaders 34.
Right, but you get white coordinate on that as well. Like instead of red coordinate.
Okay, a white coordinate on Scum.
Which also,
That's-
hold on, you get a red coordinate that can only coordinate focus, evade, or barrel roll.
That's true.
right? Like
That
squad
is
leader
a-
is very restrictive. Like don't get me wrong, squad leader coordinate is a thing and should be always looked at. Like TIE FOs with squad leader are absolutely legit. But that's because they have blue turns. They also have target lock. You know what I mean? Like you're not losing much out of that. I wouldn't take a black squadron with coordinates for any of the aces that are in.
You just don't have
You know
the
what I mean?
points for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can spend 7 more points and just be a Reaper out there.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like, hey, I wanted to be able to coordinate, so I'm spending 42 plus, if not more points, or 48 if I want to make that coordinate white again. Hey, where are you going?
All right. Well, I think that ends
Yelling
the
at my dog.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay.
I think that ends the discussion on what their overall weaknesses of the faction, and we're gonna jump right into possible and known list archetypes. Let's start with this. We don't have an exact list for this one. It's just triple aces. What ships go into a triple ace squadron?
This is still like most typically was it Soontir, Vader, and Duchess, right? It's like mostly, but then you can do some other stuff like for my own.
That's why I wrote it in there. It's literally pick 3. You can do things like, you can actually get Rexler in there a lot of times. You can get Whisper in there a lot of times. Soontir, Vader, Duchess fits. Redline still fits. It's like pick the 3 you want. You have to go with Duchess if you want to put points into your other 2, or if you want a big bid.
Yeah. This is not a list that I fly very often. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't plan ahead enough or something.
Well, no, it's not like no, it's because we only ever get to play at tournaments, and you don't want to play a hyper high variance list like that at a tournament because it's hard to not see 2 losses in like 8 games.
Yeah. That ain't my life.
Yeah. I think they're triple aces are fine, but I think if you're playing aces, you're better off double ace and support. For at least for Imperial.
If you had to fly through aces, though, Marcel, what would you choose?
I think there's only one choice that makes sense, which is Vader, Soontir, and Duchess. I mean, you can probably make a case for Whisper instead of any of those, but really it's.
Can you fit Whisper, Vader, Soontir?
No. I said in place of one of the. Basically, Whisper instead of Vader. Well, no, maybe not instead of Vader. Maybe Whisper instead of Soontir, and then
no one's going to talk about 5x5. It's not a real list. Go away.
5x5 is a list.
No, it's not. God, anything that includes Merrick Steel in it.
You're talking. Oh, that's sorry.
5x5 and resistance is a thing. Maybe,
yeah. Yep.
I'll retract my statement. I thought we were referring to 5x3, which is 5 3-attack dice guns. I apologize.
Wait, what?
Imperial 5s though I think is interesting, but if you can fly it, go ahead. Like,
I mean, thanks for the free win. I mean, sorry, you go ahead.
All right, let's go out to let's get his list up on the screen here, and this is the iconic. Let's see if my things work here. There she is. This is the iconic Iden. I guess let's see. This is the Swarm Tactics version, is what we're looking at right here.
This is the correct version.
Correct version. Okay, yes. So not the full Inferno Squadron Swarm. This is the Swarm Tactics version.
Yeah, this is the best. This is in my opinion the best jouster in the game.
Okay, so what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ships. An Academy pilot, Gideon, Wampa, Hull Runner. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue.
All right, I'll break. Give me a second. I'll break it down for just a moment. Starts with Hull Runner. Which gives everybody rerolls. And choose initiative 5, so you can have, I assume, Wampa. Normally bring up Wampa.
Yeah, Wampa goes to 5. The Academy goes to 4, just because it's nice to have an Academy to overshoot other Phantoms, Rebel Beef, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So Hull Runner. Howlrunner brings up Wampa to 5 because Wampa has a charge, so he can shoot 3 dice if he's shooting first. And then Iden has an ability. It's a single charge ability, and she can spend that charge to prevent damage dealt during an attack, which could save a TIE fighter. Then she brings up the Academy, so they can both shoot at 4. And because then you have, which one is it? Del Mico. While a friendly ship.
Reroll.
Yeah. While a friendly ship at range 0 to 2 defends against a damaged attacker, the defender may reroll 1 defense dice. So it's basically defensive Howlrunner. And in this list, the last person who can shoot then is Gideon Hask. While you perform an attack against a damaged defender, roll 1 additional dice. So that's rerolling attack dice, rerolling defense dice, blocking an entire attack, all shooting at initiative 4, and you have, what, 2 3-dice attacks and 4 2-dice attacks?
Yeah. It's not to mention anything that's range 1 or anything along those lines.
Sure. All right. I agree. This is probably the best version. It didn't get, the Swarm Tactics went up, what, a point for Howlrunner?
Guys, this isn't complicated, right? Like,
yeah. I would argue a little bit against Del Mico. I think there's probably, I think that's the one that you can toy around with if you want to get creative.
So you can, well, it's not creative. You put in the dude that has crack shot or that auto damages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only change. But like,
you put Sane with
Del helps you in more of your bad matchup fights. Is the thing. So
Oh,
like
that's
Sane.
This
Sane
list
helps
is at
you-
200, so you can't get sane marksmanship anymore.
Oh, maybe you lost. Yeah, okay. There you go.
You're saying,
Del's the right answer.
So this part isn't complicated. Before the points change, this was what, ranked 2nd or 3rd, and then all of the archetypes around it got nerfed, right? So all that means is like, okay, I understand that the other stuff like that got buffed can come in and it's a completely new meta. That being said, like the number 2 went up a point and suddenly everything else is gone around it. I think that's it. Like it's the best jouster in the game. And so long as you get the engagement you want, you win. Now, of course, it can get countered by ace play and whatnot, but if you get the encounter you want versus the aces, you win. It's one of the few lists that if you do exactly what you planned on and the person walked into the plan, you're going to win. There's no variance into it, really.
Oh, wait. Calvin, you just said if you do everything you want to do and the opponent does everything you want them to do, you're going to win. That's literally like 90% of the time.
So what I mean by that is so long as you can be patient and get the engagement you want, you've got a very, very good chance of winning.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, there's a few things that still hunt it that aren't great.
You know, like, and there's some things that can trade into it all right, into where it's like a coin flip. But even then, you've got a coin flip. That's fine. Like, I don't know. I think it's the best list around right now. I don't think I'm good enough to do it, but like, I think that's the best one.
It's very good.
Okay.
All right. Well,
do you think that'll make the cut at the nenext extended tournament that's big, at least here in the States? No, Gen Con. Do you expect to see this at a Gen Con?
Because this is hyperspace.
Well, no, it's still just as good and extended. So the problem that TIE Swarm has always faced is there's not enough people that will actually play it at a big event. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that it's not good; it's just people just don't play it. Like,
it's hard to play it up. It's hard to play so many rounds of a TIE Swarm like that.
I disagree.
Really?
It's not.
You fly one ship for 2
that's true.
Of the fight. You fly one ship, and all you do is run away until they give you the fight that you want. Then you engage, and for the last 30 minutes to 45 minutes, you are actually playing X-Wing.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone who regularly flies 7 ships, I totally agree. I mean, the vultures that I fly have 1 dial, and Watt is basically the variation of that 1 dial.
Right. Mm-hmm. And really, it's not that very much variation either.
No. So I agree, but I would say for most people who aren't used to that many ships and that kind of tight formations, it is a challenging list.
It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like there's the stigma that it's hard to fly, right? But I think, man, you put 6 bases, like, it's not complicated like placement, right? Like, you put a movement template between them, right? So you have a half base. You won't bump on banks anymore as long as you actually put the if you slot in correctly. That's
I think you're missing something though with what makes it hard to fly, is what people I'll just say for me, like, I have a hard time flying this. I have a hard time flying this. I have a hard time flying like a CIS swarm for like a 7-ship swarm for 5-6 games. And it's not that I can't think of the dial and how to set the dial and stuff like that. That's not the hard part. It's mentally taxing to just do repetitive stuff.
I think it is. I think it's whatever's in between physical and mentally taxing, that's hard. Like,
it's really repetitive, and it's really like you're hoping for a lot of variance. You're like, oh, I hope for this variance. And for me, like, being able to do a 5 forward boost, barrel roll, do this, do that, and really feel like I'm playing X-Wing, that keeps my mind engaged. When I fly a swarm,
feel like you're actually flying a ship and not a battleship.
Yeah, and it just that's the same reason why I never flew like Rebel Beef or anything like that, because it just, my mind can't take it. It's just like it feels like a chore. It doesn't feel. And
that's actually to the point. Like, that's what we're saying. It's not hard. It's easy to do. It just can get like to continue to like not do something dumb and to know when to engage requires an amount of mental fortitude to like not fall asleep while you're playing X-Wing.
All right. So, Will, you can't see chat, right?
No, I'm not watching chat. Sorry, chat.
All right. So I gotta bring you into chat.
Okay.
So, this TIE Swarm versus 8 energy shell vultures. Who do you take?
Oh my god! I know this answer.
I will assume that this will kill 2 to 3 vultures.
Like, before they shoot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Okay.
And those vultures are going to need 3 energy. Those vultures are going to need 3 energy shells to blow Iden alone. So you maybe kill Hal Runner. Maybe.
No,
and then I kill 2 to 3 more vultures before your second turn of engagement.
All right, enough of twisting that knife. The vultures are fine.
No, that's not at you. That's at chat.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
Because I think that changes a lot when you move when your Watt with Kraken. I think changes that a lot, because I can't just block you out of shooting your energy shells, right?
No.
Like, blocked vultures that have no calculates, and I take away a ton of your calculate tokens. Like, that's just a firing squad, right?
I think we can agree that it's hard to compare a TIE fighter to a vulture, even if that vulture has an energy shell.
Yeah.
Here's the hint, Lunatic. You're not going to get a range 3 engage. Like, the TIE Swarm isn't going to let you do that. You can do that with math.
I don't know. Hard 3 barrel roll on those vultures could surprise you. Maybe not you, but
it could surprise somebody, but I don't think it'll surprise me.
That is a thing about the Swarmers. Knowing your right engagement is difficult to imagine.
Hold on.
Well,
Kelvin, isn't counting to 11 really important with a TIE Swarm?
Okay.
Wouldn't we be top 4 at Crate Cup if we could count to 11 with a TIE Swarm?
All right. All I'm gonna say is that I did win the most games. However, you are absolutely correct, right? And I will eat all of the crow on that.
All right, guys, we gotta keep this moving. We gotta get on to the next list here, and we'll see what it is. We are looking at a 2-ship build. We have Whisper, with a Force user, a stealth device, collision detector, and trick shot, bringing all the things. And we have Rear Admiral Chernow in the Decimator, bringing Lone Wolf for extra dice modifiers, boosting Darth Vader, probably the best Force crew for them, bombs, dauntless, shields, all the things, because you got so many points to put on these.
So
guys.
now, I'm going to point out, I don't think this is good.
I mean, but
I think this is the best version of Rack plus Ace, and the only thing you could really adjust that's I would go, okay, yeah, I'd buy this, is the shield to baffle. It kind of depends on how much you use Dauntless, that kind of a thing. You don't need baffle as much when you're Dauntless actioning.
Baffle's still cool though.
Yeah, correct.
So the Kansas City guys all love Rack Vader from for hyperspace. And like, look, let me be fair. Like, I don't run 2-ship lists, so I don't really have too much opinion on that. But those are 2 good lists, good ships that you can sort of chuck one into something and then let Vader clean up the mess. And I mean, I can see that working. That being said, man, I wouldn't feel confident enough to not just get my rack just murdered.
So one of the things, like, so typical ship count is around 4 right now. So jamming Rack in there, bumping 1, dauntlessing your reinforce, he actually survives. He takes about 6 damage, like from 3 dice shots that are coming into him, right?
Yeah.
So like that's not bad, and he can afford to take that damage for a couple of turns before he gets out the other side.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I was flying Decimator with Tyler hates this, but I was flying Decimator with Rexler and a Juke.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I had Deci with basically it was Deci with Dauntless, Tua, Vader, and Trick Shot, and then Rexler with a Juke. And it actually, like, I flew it against 5 A-Wings before the nerf, and it just completely ate up the A-Wings in a heartbeat. Like, okay, you have a focus token, not anymore. Okay, you have, it just like completely ate them up, and the Decimator's ability to always have a reinforce is really, really. I mean, I think you can't sleep on the Decimator's ability to always have a reinforce, especially with 2 around. And then on top of that, with the points change, you can still do that same list that I just mentioned, but now you can throw in, with 3 crew slots, you can throw in an informant in there, so you can at least get some
blocking.
Somebody, not only the blocking, but basically you're trying to figure out your reinforce or your arc.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, so just making sure that you have your reinforce pointed the right way, your arc pointed the right way. Yeah, because I mean, if you're not if you have an initiative 6 ship, let's say you're flying against Anakin or something like that, you basically have 2 actions. You move, you rotate your arc, and then you get the automatic reinforce from Tua, and then you point your juke ship, whether it's Whisper or Rexler or whatever else, and just in that direction. They're not gonna, the Vader's gonna do his job to strip the token. You got your basically 3 actions, because if they're within range 1 or 2, you're getting your focus into a critical, because you're reinforced in that direction. I mean, it's actually really good, and it's really tough to kill that dumb ship. That much health with the reinforces is just bad.
Yeah. You have to bring the guns to kill that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, do we expect to see a lot of Decimators +1 in hyperspace?
It's very popular around where I am. If that's worth anything, I mean, there's some good Kansas City players, and they're all flying it.
Yeah, I think it does struggle against. I think it does well against 4 ships, 5 ships. I think it does okay against. I think you're talking about the 8 energy shell.
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
not
that.
gonna like to steal.
Once and I think right now, the current state, I think you're gonna see. Until things settle down a bit, I think you're probably going to see a lot of 7 or 8 ship CIS, and I think that's going to. I mean, I don't care how many you're reinforcing. That's still 2 rounds of fire, you're dead. I mean,
sure, ish.
I mean,
Tyler, shells, yeah.
Tyler, you almost exclusively flew Decimator +1 in first edition.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the back 2 years of it. I flew a lot of TIE Swarm before that. But yeah, so my biggest problem with the Decimator is that the easiest way to so as soon as people understand that Moff kind of helps this, but like that Decimator cannot move. it is incredibly slow. It doesn't have a K turn, so after its initial joust, it's gone. Like you just don't get to play with it anymore. Like, and even that initial joust, almost every other ship that you see is so comically faster than it that you just ignore it, right? Like you make one wrong move with the Decimator and it's out of the fight for 4+ rounds.
Let me ask you. I've always seen Decimators going front to back. Is that where you guys have normally seen them?
What with your arc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically that's what I would start with. I mean, it might rotate side to side and get into a turn war kind of a thing, but just without not having booster barrel roll like your YTs do, is just hurts so much.
And that's what made Rack good in the early.
Oh yeah, Rack was an ace. Like Rack was a 60+ point ace that 3-bank boosted almost every turn.
I agree with that.
So that's the frustrating thing is it's a much more ponderous ship, so it's just not something that I enjoy play wise. The Moff kind of helps with that, so that's cool.
I will say doing some analysis of the list in front of us here, you could do some pretty funny stuff with. So you activate Moff, or you decloak Whisper first in the system's phase so that she gets the evade. And then you could give her a Moff Gerard boost. Yeah. And you could say boost through a rock or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, so you can decloak and boost through gas clouds for no detriment effect. It has no effect on you unless it is your revealed dial maneuver that goes through it. So you don't even spend a charge.
Also on asteroids as well.
With the asteroid...
They don't take away your perform action step unless it's your maneuver.
Correct, but with the asteroid, you'd still have the chance of taking damage.
That's true.
Which I mean is non-trivial, right? Like that's at least something I have to think about. Versus like gas clouds don't exist to you.
Yeah, in fact, you actually kind of want to be behind them because if you're spending the collision detector charge, you get trick shot. From what I understand, between interactions.
Yes.
And you get the defense, so it could be a compounding interaction.
Yep, it is a 4 agility Whisper with an auto evade, plus an evade token, plus a force token with trick shot coming out of it. It doesn't die. It's stupid.
That's pretty good.
And because of the way you interact with decloak, right? Like you literally sit on that gas cloud all game.
Mm-hmm.
Like decloak over at 1 turn, decloak 1 turn, decloak 1 turn. Like, hey, this is my fortress. This is where I'm going to be. I don't care that you know it. I'm just here shooting you with maximum mods. And that's to make sure that, because that's what I was talking about in chat earlier, is like it's not so people are talking about passive sensors whisper. Like passive sensor whisper is fine. Like passive sensors giving you access to target lock is cool. You'll generally have force in there to like make up for not taking a focus action. Like that's great. But you're competing for a slot with collision detector when gas clouds are an option, which is just comically broken.
All right, well we're gonna keep moving on here.
It's not broken. I think we're.
It's not.
I think we the term broken. I
think it is vastly above the power curve, and I think we just haven't seen anybody really abuse it to like show it at a major event.
Are you going to?
No, I'm gonna. I already told you the list I'm gonna. I'm not being shy about it. I'm abusing sense. I have multiple things on my radar of the stupid good. It's not the one I want to play.
You see, I feel bad because I'm not abusing anything. I'm actually playing something that has bad matchups against everything and just hoping I play better than other people.
All right, guys, we've hit our hour mark. We got a couple more lists to go through here. Next one is a pretty straightforward Sloane 6. Has Admiral Sloane as the centerpiece. It's a crew member. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 defends, if it is destroyed, the attacker gains 2 stress tokens. And has the ability, while a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 performs an attack against a stress ship, it may reroll 1 die. As this is a crew, has to go on to either the Reaper, Decimator, or
the Lambda. So Lambda. I mean, there's a couple options here. Like the tac ops around here is
Sure,
real.
this is a Sloane 6, and I call it a Sloane 6 because it has 6 Academy TIE fighters next to it to maximize both the reroll opportunity and the being destroyed opportunity as well.
So I like the Reaper over the Lambda in this because of its speed to just get away. Like when you need to like create space, and the evade token. The way you should be flying a Sloane Swarm is with it far in the back, so you shouldn't be taking lots of shots. So that compared to the Lambda's reinforce, the evade token should just be better, right? But like that's really on the like corner case space, right? If you love your Lambdas, take a Lambda instead. Like it's not a big deal.
So I actually hate this list. I just
Yeah?
no, I do. I mean, I hate
Okay.
playing against it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
Oh,
know,
you hate
it's-
playing
it's-
against
yeah,
it. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Because I
It's a
mean,
tough list.
just the double stress is bad. I mean, I hate anything, and I talked about this a couple times in different parts of, different shows before. Was just I hate something that punishes you for playing well. I think that's kind of counterintuitive. It's like, oh, you want to play well? Okay, so I'm gonna take something that punishes you for playing better than me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
when
is it?
you're
Yeah, it
playing
is.
the game state to do half damage to all of the other ships and not actually kill anything.
Mm-hmm.
That feels weird. I don't know if it's not uninteresting, but I think it's definitely weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds
Well,
like Tyler didn't agree, but
Marcel just killed the Reaper then.
what do you mean?
You
No, I was
don't
gonna
get
say
double.
if you played well, you'd be killing the Reaper, and then you wouldn't have to worry about Sloane.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
no,
get
you-
double
you- you-
stressed if you
yeah, no,
kill
you-
the Reaper.
I get it, but I mean, really, the Reaper with the pre-positioning and then moving around, and same thing even if you go with the Lambda, getting through the reinforce and getting through 10 health. I mean, most of the time, I believe, and I might get some hate for it, but I believe people who fly this most of the time are lazy, and they're. I'm just gonna say
Hot take.
they're lazy, and they're playing things that'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick
is-
around. If I lose a ship, good, whatever. I lost a ship, and I think
I'm here
Like-
for the strong takes.
for the who?
For these strong takes.
Yeah, this is
So,
Yeah, I
solid hot take.
Marcel, we've seen Dion. Dion did a kind of a tie salad with this.
Mhm.
He had a Lambda covering or holding Sloane, and then a Reaper, Interceptor, Striker, Barrage Bomber to get as many Imperial ships into one list. I think it was his goal. Is that that's a 5x3 list, 5 ships, all with 3 attack dice. Is that
there's 4 of them. Is the big deal. There's 4 of them besides the Lambda, right?
Yeah. Yep, you have Lambda, then 4 other ships in that.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Sometimes it's all strikers. Sometimes it's a mix of it in there. Used to be, you'd see the similar archetype, but it would be like a Phantom, like Whisper, Echo, holding Sloane, and then maybe like a Bomber, Mini Swarm next to it or something like that.
Well, you can actually do some pretty cheeky stuff with. Let me make sure the points still fit. Dodges. How much do I got? 53. I think that's. Oh no, they hosed me by 1 point.
The playtesting works apparently.
Right? Oh no, they didn't. They hosed me by 4 points. Never mind. So you used to be able to get Stunter, Duchess, and Whisper with Sloane in a shuttle,
Mm-hmm.
which was really mean because it was like, here's my 3 aces. Oh, did you kill one? Cool, you're double stressed. Now my other aces kill you.
I mean, that's a way to do this Sloane Swarm. I mean, I think we haven't actually seen competitively Sloane appear as often as I would assume. We saw, I think, a lot when second edition first came out, but I think in this kind of like last 6 months or so, really haven't seen much.
It was one of my losses at Arizona. Was that Sloane by 6?
Yeah, the last time I played against it was actually round 6 in Toronto at the Toronto System Open, and we were both 4-1. So it was doing well back then. It was +6, 6 TIE fighters and a Sloane. But yeah, even that match, like it was just like like I had so much fun with the opponent. The opponent, I forgot his name, but he was such a cool guy. But I told him straight up to his face, like I hate you, and I hate you that you're flying this list, and I think this is a lazy. And he told me like, yeah, I know.
Alright.
I don't want to think.
Um,
I just want to come here and have some fun, drink some beers, and win some games. And he did. But
Oh.
I hate that list. I hate that card. I want to burn that card.
We've talked that TIE fighters are pretty good. Double stressing people, I'll tell you this much from my experience in first edition, is pretty good. So I think there's still a possibility there.
I mean,
it's
I
worth
missed
exploring.
my Coruscant list, which was Sloane Whisper with 4 strikers, which
Mhm.
was just an absolute ton of fun.
Yeah,
So I
well,
wish I
you
could have that
had
back.
so that's the similar 5x3 Sloane style list. Then.
Yeah, but it was, I had 5 I had 10 positions a turn, right? I had a decloak plus 4 ailerons plus 5 dials.
So, some true Empire flying there. Alright, speaking of your list, Tyler, why don't you break this one down for us?
What are we at to now? Is this the sense list?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your set one.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of talked about it. It's
We already talked about this one.
Yeah, so it's just 3 academy blockers, and then you have sense Vader with burners, and you have Soontir, because that's the big trick, right? Is like it's not just Soontir, or it's not just Vader with sense and some academy blockers. It's the fact that you have Soontir fell in there too, so you have another endgame ace that just goes and mucks stuff up. And one of the really powerful sides of it is in the actual I6 matchup, like the mirror matchup, where they give me initiative because they're gonna have a bid, right? Like I don't have a bid. Soontir is a comically good blocker. Like he can get to almost anywhere he needs to be, right? Like, oh, I have 1 turn and then I barrel roll, then I boost, and oh, look at that, you're blocked for Vader to come into range 1 of where you're gonna be and just light you up.
Did you used to have a bid in this list?
It used to be a 1-point bid.
Okay.
Yeah, it got 1 point more expensive than it used to be.
Tyler and I's best lists both were just sadly, horribly nerfed 1 point.
Yeah, all right. Mine was 2 points because I used to have Predator on Soontir.
All right,
So yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Because it was Vader went up 2 points, Soontir went up 1 point, and Sense went down 1 point.
I'm when I get back to playing at the game store when my wife's done with like her summer work season, I am going to at least give that a couple of runs if it.
I've had some locals run it and just like to go like pick it up, never play like Intel Whisper or really like block centric lists before, but just get the end, like have me show them like the loose triangle tri formation. It's like if you put your TIE fighters in like a 3/4 to a 1 base with space between them in a triangle, like 1 in front and 2 in the back.
Yeah.
You can block the entire movement cone of any ship. So like, yeah, it's just like, oh, I want that ship blocked. Cool.
Yeah,
it's for sure blocked. No questions asked. Yeah. So, and do well with it. Like just go, oh, well, I went to like our local kit thing and I went 4-0. This was easy. Like, why is this as easy as it is? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm going to show, we talked about it extensively in the important ships, but we'll show it here for everybody. The 3 Juke Phantoms, and then you have 35 points left over. And you guys are pretty much agreeing that that's going to either be a generic striker or a named TIE fighter. Is that right?
Yeah, my guess would be Gideon. That's what I would run if I was going to do it. And then you have 5 points to do something.
Gideon's got the initiative 4, so he can shoot and move with the Phantoms. He also shoots 3 attack dice, which is good because they're not going to have any tokens left after all those jukes. But what do you do with the 5 points then?
I don't know. Like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't matter. But
no, not really. It doesn't matter. You can
crack shot. It's fine.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Crack shot on Gideon, elusive. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you're no, you're not gonna get a hull upgrade or nothing.
You can get 1 hull upgrade. Matter. You can get 1 hull upgrade or 1 passive sensors. That's all you can get.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't matter.
One passive sensors, one crack shot. I don't know.
Is there a gunner you can do?
No, because skilled bombardier and a
there is.
hotshot gunner doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so you can put skilled bombardier on it.
yeah. Fifth brother is 9 points, so that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You can throw
would
whatever you want.
You don't really
The whole
wanna
point
put,
of this, I mean, yeah,
you don't really want to put Echo in there, do you? Because you're kind of trying to move these together, right?
Yeah, you want to keep them together, and Echo
Yeah,
breaks
so
the whole thing.
Well,
But,
how does Gideon fly with these type phantoms then? Just hard
Well,
one barrel roll?
if you're gonna do the mobile fortress, yeah, you just hard one barrel roll. It's easy.
Yeah, you hard one barrel, and
fair
also
enough.
you fly behind them. You really protect them behind the wall. So you basically keep them behind the wall. Once people start getting a little bit of damage, then he comes in and just either does the blocks or just basically takes shots. If they're shooting at Gideon, they're not shooting at the Sigmas. It doesn't really matter. And like I said, this list is pretty self-explanatory.
Also,
the
secret is if I'm just camping in my corner and we don't have to worry about mobile fortressing rules and all that crap, the Phantoms don't have to decloak. They can just hard one barrel roll too.
That's a good point, actually. That's a solid way to keep him flying with the TIE fighters. We're not going to get into mobile fortressing things. I'm sure it's you can look at Facebook pages and have wild discussions about that in a different time. So all right, so we're going to close out here with the Empire. Any closing thoughts? Anything we haven't covered so far?
On the Empire, no. I think we covered all of it, and not all of it. I mean, there's one of the things that I said is that there's a lot of unexplored stuff that people can still figure out. And I'm gonna go back to like the Hatchaman thing, and you say you better with Whisper, which it really doesn't matter. But the whole point is there's still stuff that people can come up with. The Empire has so many different ships and crew and abilities that carried over from 1.0 and have been there since the beginning that just really hasn't been explored, but are probably pretty good. It just needs somebody to get creative with list building and put it on the table and figure out like, hey, wait, this really works. So I think the Empire still has a lot of stuff to surprise people once somebody gets creative with it.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on Gold Squadron Nation or whatever you guys call yourselves. Like someone go figure out like
podcast.
Go someone someone figure out Sienna Ray for me. Like figure it out. Show me how it's broken so I can see it.
So it only works when you boost your barrel roll, right?
Yeah, it's the booster barrel roll, like 90-degree turn.
Well, how many ships have boost? The V1.
Well, it doesn't matter about the boost. The barrel roll.
Boost. I mean, Punishers, Squints, Taps.
Do Phantoms count?
Like everything has barrel roll in Empire practically.
Does the decloak count for Sienna?
No,
it has to be coordinated.
It's coordinated.
Yeah, so like no afterburners or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's potential there. I think there's a list there. I think I know what list you're talking about with the Punishers, and I think that was not abusing it. It was perfecting scenery to its maximum. I don't know if we can get another list like that that'll use her, but if we don't keep using her, she'll just go down in price. So
right
there we go.
Eventually, she'll be there.
Eventually, she'll be 2 points, and we'll.
And suddenly, everyone will use it.
Yeah, we'll rue the day. Yeah, they'll get a small base coordinating crew carrier like a Sheathipede, and Serenity will be the go-to upgrade. All right, so done with Empire. Getting that off of the screen. We're gonna move on to our list of the week, and this comes from Karaz is Life. Let's get the list up here. The list it's a resistance list. Has Poe Dameron. This is what I refer to as a slim Poe, which is heroic R4 black one. We have Rey with Leia Organa to do like white sloops, give Poe white talons. Also gives her 3 force, so very powerful. Then we have a new ship, which is the transport pod and Finn in it. Finn says, while you defend or perform an attack, you may add 1 blank result, or you may gain a strain token, which reduces your agility for the next attack, unless you clear with a green maneuver, to add 1 focus
hold on.
result. What?
Not when you're attacking, it doesn't.
What do you mean?
So like.
Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. A strain token reduces your agility when being attacked.
Right, but the way the timing on that all works is when people are shooting at it, you just take the strain token, but you've already had your dice, the chance for your dice to be reduced is gone.
Oh, yeah.
But after the attack, your strain goes away. So like, it actually doesn't do anything. There's no negative consequence. Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to double check here. Strain tokens.
You can.
I believe you, but I want to. I'm pulling up the wiki right now.
Hold on.
Yep.
Go ahead, Tyler.
So the way Finn states, when you defend or perform an attack. Now, if you perform the attack, he gets the strain token. But if you're defending, you may add 1 blank result, and gain 1 strain token, or gain 1 strain token to add a focus result instead, right? Okay, so strain tokens are when you're getting shot, you reduce the number of green dice you roll, correct? Then after the attack, you remove a strain token.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's
okay, so now
exactly
we are now in the attack phase. I have rolled my green dice, so I can't reduce that number in any way. So now I'm going to take a strain token to add a focus result, right? And then we're going to be at the end of the attack phase, which says remove strain token.
Okay.
I can't deny that logic. That's the exact wording of strain.
It's how it works. I don't think it's supposed to work that way.
So you're saying he basically gets a free focus every
time he's shot. Yep.
Every time he gets shot.
Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because he's only going to have 1 focus token anyway.
Is he?
He can have perceptive co-pilot.
At that point, 42 points. No, thank you.
Anyways,
there are other ways to make that really good. But
okay. Anyways,
the way I was looking at it, the way I was actually thinking about this is you take the I was actually looking at the because I saw that Finn and I was thinking about like why actually that's the only thing I was thinking, like why, and then I was trying to make it work in my brain. And one of the things that I saw is like, let's say, whether you're attacking something with the same initiative 2 or initiative 1, and you're going to get shot later, or you're defending, let's say you defend, you roll, 2 focuses, then you're like, you know what, I'm going to get an extra focus. And you get 3 evades out of that and you end up with a strain. You're saying you don't end up with a strain,
You
right?
don't end up with a strain. That's the thing. Also note that you also should have
now the question is
in there.
Yeah.
Because
no,
then
C-3PO.
Well, no, I'm saying you should, because then you have two calculates.
No. We can talk about changing the list later. I'm just trying to understand how this works. So, because the way I was looking at it, and maybe the way that I don't know who submitted this list, but they probably were thinking about it, is if I defend and I get an extra focus, I'm going to take my focus result, and then I'm going to use my focus and defend. Or if I'm attacking first against an initiative 1 thing, I'm going to shoot, get a focus, and basically take a strain in order to get an extra hit result out there. And then when I get attacked, because I'm only rolling 1 defense dice, I only need to roll 1 blank to trigger heroic. Because I roll 1 blank, add a second blank, that triggers heroic, which lets me re-roll both. Is the way that I was looking at it.
Yes, we. I think yes, we're all. I think on the same page in that. But Tyler's just referring to the adding the focus on defense is a moot point. It does penalize you for adding the focus on offense.
Correct. Yeah. If you add it on offense, you 100% are going to have it for the shot. Correct. It's just that you get to freely add a focus results every time.
But he does attack at initiative 2, so you might have a chance to do a blue maneuver before you actually get shot then.
Yeah.
But anyways, let me finish this out. So he has Finn has heroic, which you should, because he adds blanks. So have heroic on Finn. If you're running a heroic list Finn, I don't know what you're doing. Then this one gets rounded out with advanced optics, which is an interesting upgrade, I think, for Finn, because he can add. so many things. There's a lot of things you could do with that advanced optics and adding dice and things like that. Because you could technically then add a blank and then spend it so he rolls 2 hits, adds a blank. Or wait, actually, let me backtrack that. On attacking, he could roll 2 blanks, add a blank, heroic all of them into hit blank, and then spend advanced optics.
You could do some weird stuff. Yes.
So it's basically
a
crazy amount of options for modifying. All right, so this is the list. I think we can all agree that pose pretty good. That's a slim Poe. What do you guys think about Finn added in here?
I actually like it just because, I mean, when we first started this, we were going with like the whole grading them based on, is it good, is it comical, or is it
competitive?
Like, I mean, is it, yeah, where are you going to use it? I'm going to put it in that realm of take it to League Night. You're going to have some fun with it. Don't take it to a tournament. But the amount of shenanigans that you can get out of this particular Finn, I think is worthy enough to put it in, to fly it. Like, I would not change that Finn whatsoever. It just sounds hilarious.
Well,
And
like I said, I would drop optics and I would add 3PO. It's 1 point. Like, just because that gives you calculate on coordinate, so now you're giving your Poe extra actions, that kind of stuff. But like, yeah,
C3PO is 201 in this.
yeah, you need to.
I don't have heroic on mine. Sure, okay.
You don't have heroic on your Finn?
No, I also wouldn't have it on my Poe either, but that's a different story.
All right, well, yeah, it's a hard call then. Fair enough.
I'm sure you could probably, I don't know, that's what, like a 92 point.
Well, you get rid of Leia. I mean,
Leia's real expensive.
Yeah, get rid of Leia.
Leia's very expensive in this
build.
Put the
title and then put the one that gets rid of all the what is that, Kerr or whatever? Who is that?
So basically, the reason this Finn is good is it's a 36.3 attack dice ship that has basically no downside behind it, which is a good thing.
You're a generic striker who can modify both offense and defense.
Right. That also coordinates people.
The pod can't coordinate.
Right. Your pod can't coordinate. My pod has red coordinate. But that's
Fair enough. So I think that's where we'll start. We'll drop off the optics and clear the Ray out of there. And you want to add in C3PO?
Yeah.
All right. We have 18 points left for Ray or Poe.
Why leave the advanced optics on there and just.
No, you can't put advanced optics in C3PO. It's making
no
sense.
It's expensive. That's all. You can do what you want, but
yeah.
I'm just telling you.
I do what I want.
3PO.
I think that's what I heard Calvin say earlier.
That's true. That's how this goes, man. Is we do whatever we want over here. You want to
do what I want,
man. Treat yourself.
What is that? Isn't there a crew member that gives you calculate? Here it is. G897. Wait, no, that's the deploying one.
Yeah, there is one that gives you.
Oh, it's PZ4C0. At the end of the activation phase, you can choose a friendly ship at range 0 or 1 to 2. If you do, transfer a calculate token to that ship. If your reveal dial is blue, you may transfer. So it's the support ability.
That's actually that might not be so bad because you can get the same list. So I'm not looking at your. Let me look at your.
That's very confusing.
Yeah. Wait 1 second. So you've got heroic. So throw the PZ, and also throw a core on Ray and the title on Ray.
Yeah, I mean the PZ was pretty much just so Finn could coordinate Ray from across the board.
Yeah, and he still could, but the whole point is.
What is it, Larma? No, it's not Larma.
Yeah, so you can coordinate Ray across the board, and Finn himself ends up with a calculate token, and then Ray basically gives the Ray's Millennium Falcon title gives Ray the ability to do like what he wants to do, what she wants to do with keeping Arc on target, and Core clears all stress when you move. and then PZ gives you the ability to basically transfer tokens around when you need to. So if you need to give an extra token Finn, you need to get an extra
That's kind of
token
interesting
Poe.
because with actually the core, PZ, and Rey's all fit in that. So you could actually coordinate Rey while she's stressed to give her a boost. Now she's double stressed, and then she could blue move, clear off both stress. Then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it gives you a lot of options, and you're not stuck by those range restrictions. And then when you coordinate Rey, you still end up with a calculate token, and then if you ended up taking a calculate or a focus from Rey, you can still pass that off to either Poe or Finn, or just keep it. I mean, it just gives you some options. I think it's actually pretty creative.
Yeah, because you can kind of send Rey on the flank and keep Poe by Finn.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with it.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't even opened my transport pack yet, so I haven't even started exploring the Resistance.
I haven't even picked it up from the store.
So that yes, I don't own Resistance. But that 36-point Finn is very good and has a lot of options there, and it's a very good in the sense that like for 36 points, it's kind of the Resistance's hallmark, right? They just get ships that are too cheap for what they're able to do. Hey, look at that.
I mean, actually, double. What's the difference mathematically between 2 calculates and 1 focus?
2 calculates is almost always better.
Yeah, 2 calculates is better because you can use it offensively and defensively.
Yeah, almost all. Like you get into weird like 3 dice attacks that you roll 3 focus, but how often do you roll 3 focus? That's a decently rare amount.
Finn would roll 2 attack dice, and the double focus is the minimum result. I do know that from a lot of flying of like Luke and the Separatist vultures and stuff, that on either 2 attack dice or 2 defense dice, double focus is the minimum result possible.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Anyway, so I think this is the first list ever we all did not take a ship out of it.
No, I like the archetype quite a bit. There's just a lot of
stuff in there.
And I think I know the reason why, though. Because it's not scum and you can't fit an autopilot in there. Or else I probably would have.
Ripped out some upgrades for an autopilot drone.
12 points. I mean, you don't have...
I trust me, I am aware. I have it in there all the time.
Yeah, 2-hull, proton bomb, coordinates.
I was going to say, I don't even care about the proton bomb or the fact that it's never... Like, how I get 2 free coordinates to my Boba Fett seems pretty good. I'll pay for that.
You also get 2 shields on your Han.
Yeah, 2 shields on your Han.
I don't even have Han in the game. I'm talking that thing is there for the first 2 turns of the game to make my Boba Fett have extra actions.
That's
3
fair.
forward.
Yeah. I've tried to fly the drone by itself and then had a quad jumper behind it, just tractor beaming it forward.
Wait. What is it a Resistance only upgrade? The one that lets you come out 3 turns into the game?
Yes, that is called It's the Resistance.
Oh, that would be so good.
You're referring to GA75. It's in the condition It's the Resistance.
That would be so good.
No. You could try you think about, like I said, give him a little boost and stuff.
So for everyone listening, which is only 34 on Twitch and how many ever on YouTube if you're streaming on YouTube, and whoever will listen to this later, we're gonna put out a petition out there. Okay, we're gonna put out a petition. We're gonna sign it and then make the autopilot drone
not
unique, and available for every of the 7 factions.
I mean, I guess there is the 8 ship max rule.
That's true.
So that's not as bad.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to fly against 7 of them and Boba?
Faction.
Oh man, that's such an even bigger bid for my supernatural Anakin.
One drone.
Yeah.
One self-exploding drone and.
I'm getting these lists out of here. Let's go back to Vader. Whoa, no. Oh, that's our question of the week. You guys get a sneak peek of it.
Yeah, I'm done to the sneak peek.
Stop this. There it is. Oh,
what
it's
are you
covered.
doing?
I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. Oh, it's this. That's what I'll take it off.
Fantastic.
It was.
Fox 779.
Yeah, Fantastic Fox. We're going to do a question of the week, which I think is
You covered the
a-
question of the week.
Yep, it's interesting. I think we can actually get some discussion on this one. So Fantastic Fox 79 posted on our Discord. Everybody join our Discord. It's the easiest place to talk to us and talk amongst yourselves. Anyways, his question is it difficult to balance and cost pilots with 3 force? Would the game be better if the max force was 2?
I can answer this.
All right, Ricky, you're up first.
Yes,
Wait, to which one? That's 2 questions.
both.
I don't agree with the second part. I don't think the game would be
agree
better
either
with.
one.
All right,
No,
Tyler. Tyler, what's your rebuttal here? One at a time, gents.
I like 3 force being in the game. I think 3 force is fine. I do agree that it is more challenging to cost things that have static upgrades like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Would the game be better with 2 force?
No.
Max?
No, I think 3 is fine. I'm not even opposed to like 4 being there at some point in time. Like you borderline see it with like
Hate.
with force users and whatnot. Like you saw it on like the infiltrators. You could in theory see it on
Yeah,
Yeah, I was seeing 5 force ships at some point with different upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's a Maul. Maul
Yeah.
with Palpatine can get to
Mhm.
4, and if you have Dooku, you can get to 5.
So
I just don't like I don't like mods that are passive that you don't have to fly and take an action for.
So you see, Richard's
says,
on my
says the Hell Runner player.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hell Runner. It's conditional. You have to be eaten by a Hell Runner.
Yeah, you gotta be within range 1. At least you have to do that.
Wait, is Hell Runner 0 to 1?
Yeah, 0 to 1. She gets her own mods.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
Yep. That was the bit. That was the only upgrade TIE Fighter saw. Hell Runner gets her mods,
There you go.
which
That's
is
true.
non-trivial. Let me tell you, late game, it's like because the old ignore Hell Runner because she'll be easy to kill in the end and she's not worth anything. Like suddenly that's a Initiative 5 ship that has a reroll.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Marcel? What is your thoughts on this?
I think it's fine. Is it hard to cost? I think it is based on their pilot's ability because you have some pilot abilities that are going to be starved for force off the bat. Other pilot abilities, like let's say, if you have Luke with 3 force, broken. If you have current version of Darth Maul with 3 force, no, you use his ability once and you're stuck for 2 turns. So I think it really depends on the ability that they have.
Wait, doesn't Maul already have 3 force?
Yeah, I'm saying Maul with 3 force in current state with hate being 9 points. It's not broken. It's like you're gonna be starved for force with Maul pretty.
You're
quickly.
using. I think I understand what. I think I understand what you're saying, Marcel. Is that Maul uses the Force for abilities instead of dice modification?
Yeah. Let me give you another example.
Yes.
Asajj, with like the Force on Asajj means a lot less than the Force on Luke or the Force on Mace, because Asajj's whole ability, Asajj's whole reason for being relies on you burning Force at the beginning of every turn, even before you start shooting, and you're not going to use it for modifications. Now, you have something like Luke, or you have something like Mace, or you have something like, you have other ships that basically use Force for specific purposes on occasion, or even have force abilities that are like that regenerate itself. That's where it gets a little bit tricky, because the 3 force is not equal across all ships. Every ship uses the force differently. So actually, let me give you another one. The TAP we were talking about, it the TAP advanced prototype. You have to burn the force in order to roll an extra die with him, and he's only got a couple force, so
Oh,
he's
you mean
starved
Wizard?
for force.
Yeah. Oh man, he's so force starved.
Yeah, his force is not really a force. His force is basically just. I mean, he might as well be Wampa, burning a charge to get an extra die. I mean, at that point, it's not really a force. It's a charge. So where I mean that. It depends on what the ability is more so than how many force a ship has.
I also have to think. I'm trying to think here, like through the number wise. I don't know as Luke with 3 force would be broken because he's basically already
If he-
infinite force.
Yeah, if he was on a 3 agility platform.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, we're talking about like the extreme outliers there, right? Because you have to roll 3 focus results on your green dice or your red dice.
Well, no, you just have to
yeah.
roll. You just have
But
to roll 1 focus result each time you evade.
Yeah, and
Well, no, but you get a force back each time, right? So it's like the only
Right.
time that it matters him being 3 force versus 2 force is when
Oh,
you
I
have
see what
all
you're
3
saying.
force and you'd have to roll all 3, right? Like that's the
Yeah, I'll give you that. I flew a lot of just naked Luke, and
naked Luke's good.
It was basically infinite force.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
is.
care because same thing we were talking about, especially on defense dice. Double focus on 2 dice is the least likely result.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like you just have like him being at 0 force is almost unheard of, right? Like it just doesn't happen. Like you spend down, but then you immediately go back to 1, and then oh hey, look at that, I was at 1 at the end of the turn, and now I'm back up
Now-
to 2
now I
because
have
of
2
natural
again.
reach. Yeah, right. Like, it's just
Now I target lock you and shoot double mods.
Yep.
All right.
So-
Well, I'll give you guys my hot take on it. I think it's a little bit of everybody's. I think it is very difficult to balance 3 force because of the varying chassis. Yes, but
Yeah.
would
It's hard to design board games.
yeah, agreed.
It's actually a really easy question.
Would the game be better with a max of 2? I would say I don't know if it would be better. I think 3 force is probably fine, but I'm gonna add a hard but to this. I am in the position that I do not like force as a passive mod. I like it for abilities like Darth Vader, where he can take. He's got a limited pool of extra actions he can take. That's cool to me. Marcel was talking about Asajj. Her ability having a limited amount of triggers. They can't trigger it as often, and that is interesting to me. The fact that a lot of people are just using it for the dice modification. Look at Fifth Brother. Fifth Brother basically says you have a force, like generic. You have a force now. The Emperor is better than it was in first edition, but it's basically everybody has a force charge now. Like that's a really boring ability to me.
Hold on, 5th brother, your force charge is critting. That's important.
Cool. Like, I guess, yeah. Well, okay, I'll give him that he should be using his force on offense versus defense. I'll give him that. But yeah, I thought we were done with passive mods, but
so like,
So wait, I have a question. Why is Tyler laying down, looking like he's trying to be all seductive?
I'm laying in front of my alcohol.
I see. Yeah, I
counter.
see.
I know.
The mini bar.
Where's the mini bar?
Right there.
There it is. No. Fancy.
Not really. It's all Kirkland. It's all Costco. It's all Costco alcohol.
All right, guys. I think we're out of actual content.
So
unless
I
you
will
guys
say
had
this,
something.
Will, because I like what you're saying there about like the passive mods and force is less ideal, but it at least is the right step from things like expertise, where it was just like all your focus, just all the time, no questions asked, right?
Well,
Like,
wait,
at
you
least
couldn't
it's
be
still-
stressed though.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe you could stress things, Mr. R3A2, but the rest of us, we didn't get that option. So at least at this point in second edition, it's a resource that we're using up, right? So it's like that there you can kind of go with the counterplay in that space. But yeah, no, I agree in the sense that where it's like a lot of times it's like, oh man, I can't do anything about this because you just have plenty of force. So even if I block you or I trap you or whatnot, you have the resources to not care.
I wish you had to like spend a token at the end of the round or like do a blue maneuver to get a force back.
I just wish you could block it. That's all.
Or yeah, you had to fully execute a maneuver to use force. Anything, like yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see that. Make it harder to regenerate.
That's all. I want to be able to block it, or like block it to prevent you from spending it. I don't even care if it regenerates. I just don't like it after I block you.
Every time you block someone, they have to spend a force.
I'm into that. That's especially awesome.
You drain somebody's force.
So, William, if you're out of content, can we talk about the real reason that I want to?
No. I got one more thing before you start talking about your real reason.
No, we gotta end the recording, then we can go into talking about that.
No. This is actually on the recording. Yeah, I got one more on the recording.
The RPGs, man.
We'll talk about the RPG in a second. So actually, this is before we end the recording. I wanted to bring just give an update because one of the things you skipped is just Team USA updates.
I didn't know if you had any new news.
Yeah, I do have new news. New news, is that new news? So here's the news. Right now, the lists are due on July 31st. We're going to try to get all lists into the right. The final tally is 20 teams. 20 countries are participating. So we're going to be putting our lists in. We're working on it right now, feverishly, and how we say, very hot-tempered. Not hot-tempered. There's just a lot of opinions
Not
flying around.
hot-tempered. It's just some questionable opinions have been aired, and
valid, but varying opinions. I'm not going to say questionable. Valid, varying.
You can say valid. I'll say questionable. It's fine.
But anyway, we're finishing up our lists. So the for future content, actually, what's going to happen is we're putting together our list. We're going to submit it here, hopefully within the next week, to the TO who's running the event. All the other lists are going to get submitted. Then on August 2nd, we're all of the lists will become public to us. So at that point, what we're looking to do is we're probably going to run somewhere between Gen Con and XTC. We're going to do an episode that is basically just breaking down the 20 teams, just going through the list of the 20 teams, the players. I think for the most part, some of the players, that while popular in Europe, maybe we don't know the names very well, but at least we'll go over the players and we'll go over the lists. And then
wait, can you do me a favor? Can you bring Ryan on to read everybody's names from Europe that's going to be there?
Maybe we can pre-record them. We can send it to him, and we can have him announce.
Easy. Easy.
That would be great. But so we're gonna be doing a team breakdown. We're gonna reveal our own list at that time, our own series of lists.
Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to reveal my list yet.
Okay, we're gonna reveal our other 4 lists, and then from there, anyway, we're just gonna have a good time about that. And if you have, we still have 2 weeks. So if you think you have the list, not Imperial, because Tyler will get mad at you, that we are all sleeping on, send it over, and we'll either
post it in our Discord.
Yeah, post it in the Discord that Dion and William will read.
Yeah, find Marcel on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook because I'm the old man here. They're on Discord because they know that young people stuff. Anyway, go ahead. Run it and stuff. Life choices. Don't forget that part. What's your good life choice this week?
Terrible. I found my roommate's cigarettes and I smoked some. It was terrible. I felt bad about it. But I'm
the next level content you're getting instead of talking about RPGs.
I know. Okay, Marcel asked.
Yeah, We do it every week. So
he wanted to out me. He wanted to give me the shame, and
I don't want to give you the shame. I want to give you
I will own up to it.
the
I feel
strengths. Yeah, that's what I told you last week. Like, you got to own it.
I
The
feel
onus
bad.
is on
I
you.
mean, I'm not happy about it, but
You don't have to feel bad about it. There's no right and wrong in it. You did what you did. You didn't do what you didn't do. What happens tonight and tomorrow is on you, man. So you got it.
well, I'm still making the effort, so that's what counts.
All right. What did a wise Jedi Master said? Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, which seems really weird because I thought only Sith dealt in absolutes. But hey, whatever.
Well, he was living in a
Contradicting.
No, he was living in a
little Jedis.
planet that was overrun. Not overrun. That was living in a planet that was primarily
A swamp.
Not the swamp. Actually, that planet was had a strong dark influence. That's why he was living there, because it was it masked his aura, his force. Yeah, you got to watch them videos.
You
Anyway,
mean read those books that aren't canon anymore.
That was
Ricky,
in a video.
Ricky, we got 10 minutes before we're hitting this 2-hour marker.
All right.
Are we gonna talk about it recorded or not?
No. This is
because
very.
I could talk RPGs for hours.
This is the most important content that we've talked about in the whole 2 hours.
Okay. All
So
right.
Now you're awake.
I'm asking you the questions. All right, like, what are you running? What are you running? Age of Empire? Are you running Age of what is it? Rebellion, Edge of the Empire, or what is the Jedi one?
Force and
That
Destiny.
That one doesn't matter.
What? I'll agree. Force and Destiny is fun for one shots. It is not fun for long campaigns. The Force users get too strong.
Yeah.
I don't personally. I don't care. Like, balance is not a thing I ever really pay attention to.
No, they're literally like they like break the system. You're a fan of Genesis, right?
Yeah. It's because
from what I understand, Genesis is harder to say break a character because of the limitations on how you can spend your experience and like level up and things like that. In the FFG Star Wars system, it is actually easy to break if you're trying. If you're trying to make a thematic character, no, you'll be on par with everybody else who's like playing a fun, interesting character. If you're just trying to min-max or
to me, it's a table issue more than it is like, I don't, like, so long as the table's an interesting game, like that's what matters to me. Like, I don't care.
Okay. Well, I'm running. So I've been running a Age of Rebellion.
Are you using duty?
Yes, I am using duty. It's the first time I've been interacting with duty. I'm basically taking my own like spin on it, like because like they have this big stat block of like what you should do with duty and how you should do it, and then at the very end it's basically like, man, if you're the GM, it's kind of up to your discretion. And I was like, well, none of your rules mean anything. Then I can basically do whatever I want.
Yeah, I liked using that system. I'm a big fan of it, but it does require. I like having everybody roll at the end of a session instead of the beginning.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep.
So that way, you can prep for it the next adventure, because if like I don't know how I'm going to add air superiority to this or to this session like right now after I've planned for everything. But I like it. I think it's fun. Are you liking the system so far?
No, so I used to run. This is like actually like a little bit after I got into X-Wing. I picked up the beginner's kit for Force and Destiny. It was the first time I'd ever run an RPG. I just understood what they were and like watched a couple videos of people doing it. But after that first beginner's game, I'm hooked. I started writing my own campaign, and we played a Force and Destiny campaign for probably about a year straight, maybe like 30, 40 sessions into it. But that, like work schedules and things, RPGs go. Eventually, it just kind of pitters off. That same group is actually met back up, and now we're doing 5e instead, which is interesting.
Tippett and I did Star Wars for about 6 months on the SMV stream too. Like,
yeah.
So he's I've been both of it as well.
No, I personally like the classes system, the trees. I think it's fine. It's nothing like crazy innovative. Like it works, it functions. What gets me is the dice of
The
that to where, you want to throw a grenade at the droid and that's how you're going to repair it. Okay, let's see it. And just it's just easier for the DM to be like, all right, I don't have to make a decision. We'll just see what the dice say about it.
Mm-hmm. And I like what's fun about that is the players can spend the idea of a granular result, like and there being two tracks of success, quote unquote, is really and failure. I think is really fun, and that the players can spin that to control the story a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think is so cool, and it's so much fun to run that with people because they're actually helping you tell the story. I think that's awesome. I love that system. My favorite.
I will say one of the things it's that system is very good for a certain style of like storyteller,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because so like we were talking about before we actually launched, like I'm playing in a Pathfinder game, which is the 100% opposite end, right? Like
Yeah.
Pathfinder's a great system, but it's very rigid. Like there is literally a rule for everything. So you can't just like, oh, well, I want this guy to have an armor class 27. Well, how'd he get there? Like what are his stats? What are his items? That kind of stuff, right? Versus a Genesis style system where it's like, you know what? Every time you're shooting at this guy, you just get an extra disadvantage. Why? Because that seems interesting for the story.
Yeah, that's the Force in Destiny, or I wish they had a better name for the whole system, but
Yeah. Star Wars.
yeah, I wish they had a name for just the whole system instead of three different ones. But
it's the same thing. It's just which mechanic are you using for your morality? Are you using morality, duty, or obligation? Yeah.
yeah, obligation, morality, and duty. Yep. But yeah, that works. So they have a system where it's just like if this dude's like really good, it's called adversary, and he just gets a cooler die each time, right?
Yep.
And I really like that because don't tell my players this, but sometimes I don't have stats for things. I just like
You don't have to. That's what makes it great.
I was like, oh yeah, this guy is probably gonna roll 2 purples on this check. Of course he would. Like,
how many times my players fought random or whatever the thug stat line was? Everybody was a thug, adding or like adding or subtracting like a specific skill. Like you just take that stat line and you run. It was awesome.
Yeah, once you yeah, what gets me is just I stared at a chart that said like what is 3 greens versus 3 purples or 2 purples or 1 purple, and like what's the average successes and stuff like that. And I kind of like tried to obtain that information as much into my mind, so that way every time someone's like all right, I want to roll a mechanics check, yellow yellow green, which is a good check by the way for those who don't understand. That's a good check.
It's very good.
But if I want them to have a chance to fail, I'll throw them back, 3 purples and 2 setbacks. But if I want them to succeed, I'll just give them a red, a purple, and a black.
And you can do that via the force dice, so that goes back and forth, and it's like a point the players can spend to like do cool stuff and make it better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always the chance that they can fail when I'm hoping that they succeed, or they succeed when I'm hoping that they fail. But that's just like what you have to do, and you definitely have to be. I think in the more narrative system with the narrative dice, both the person running the game and the players need to be able to improvise more often. They can't just look at their stat block and be like, "This is what I do. I attack with a +4 sword. I have 26 AC or whatever." No, you got to be able to think on your feet. You got to be able to think out of the box. You can't just be like, "These are my 3 actions that I take every round." Full round defense, attacks of opportunity. No, get out of here.
Grand scheme of things, it's my favorite. I don't know how much time we've taken up, but I'm glad we
got 2 minutes left.
So I will say I'm very excited to well, I want to. I don't have one a chance. I don't have an opportunity in the near future, but I want to run the Genesis Netrunner game.
That's true. They came out with what, a source book for that?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Sign me up, buddy. I am in.
Like,
awesome.
Netrunner was it's still my favorite card game like to date. Like, and it's not even close. Like, it was just an amazing game, but the setting is has such a rich lore for it that is very, very well developed that needs more exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of got that cyberpunk feel to it.
Yeah,
with,
but there's
like,
no magic,
corporations.
right? Yeah,
No, that's
it's
Shadowrun. Shadowrun has magic.
right. Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Shadowrun's quintessential cyberpunk RPG though.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, it is. I think it's like 2077. So that's Cyberpunk 2077. But it's in that range, like, right? It's around the close to the 2100 time frame. So mega corporations pretty much control all of the major interests in Earth, and you have them fighting over wealth and political clout and the like. And so there's a decent amount of lore there, but they did a very good job developing, especially like with each cycle of Netrunner that came out. They told a story with it. So you had Genteki, who were primarily the Japanese corporation, but they were known for creating clones. But then there was a whole movement from the underground to get clones the right to vote, right? They're like, well, these are technically people, right? They're just genetically engineered people, but they're still people. And it kind of brings up that, like, well, are they people? Aren't they? Should they be allowed to vote? Shouldn't they be allowed to vote? That kind of stuff. So it's just like they actually went and explored those areas within the game space. That was pretty cool.
Well, Tyler, you run it online so me and Richard can play. We'll stream it.
Yeah, right.
We'll do a bunch.
I might see if there's like a one shot or something like that where we can sit down and do it.
That's fine. I'm interested in it
because I'll need you guys to hack the evil Fox News. Or just Fox News, depending on your political.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's a good Fox News, but we'll digress away from that as far as possible. And we've hit our time cap, so I gotta do the outro here so we can stop recording.
Yeah. I think you were nerding everyone to sleep.
That's fine. Did we?
Here's accomplished.
Hey, Richard. Did I ever say that you're my hero? You know I love you, brother.
I love you too, buddy.
Yeah, I really want to thank both of you guys for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun. You guys brought a lot to the table, and we appreciate it. And did it hopefully without having to edit this episode. So
good luck. Believe in you.
Well, I'm not gonna do it. So Dion, it's up to you, Dion. Edit this or not, put it on, whatever. I thought it was great. I don't think it needs to be edited. It's totally fine.
I think we were good. I think I am fairly confident in being under one swear word to keep the PG-13 rating.
I think you hit the. I think you hit the PG-13 once.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah. All right. Gotta do the closing here. Twitch. You can watch all of our live X-Wing events and content at twitch.tv/Gold Squadron Podcast. Remember to renew that Twitch Prime subscription every 30 days. It's literally free money for us here at Gold Squadron. Our next broadcast, so let's see. Did Dion say he's coming back for League Night tomorrow, Marcel?
No League Night.
No League Night?
No League Night. Oh, well, let me restate. Yes, League Night to everybody in Chicago wanting to play.
Oh, okay.
Yes, League Night. For people watching on stream, no League Night.
Okay.
People get confused about that. Yes.
Marcel, give me what's the next event we're doing then?
Next event, let's see. I think it's going to be Madison, Wisconsin, I believe.
Well, you guys are going up to that?
I am.
You are. Is Dion?
Well, I'll probably grab him by the ear and take him.
Okay.
I think it's only like 2.5 hour drive away.
No, it's fairly reasonable. I don't know if we're streaming that. That's interesting. But I will say
he was looking for a stream this weekend, either in Cleveland. Actually, he's not doing this weekend because his wife has a marathon.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Yeah,
that's
it'll be Madison, and then after Madison, that's when we get on a roll of Gen Con, Buenos Aires.
Okay.
So
Madison on the 29th or 27th, something like that. 27th.
Yep. We're gonna go get some more dice. We're gonna try to hit 101 before the end of the year.
That's gonna start the cascade of streams. So I think we calculated we're gonna stream like 75 games or something in the month of August. It's going to be nuts. So stay tuned for that. So in addition to Twitch, we have YouTube. You can watch all of our X-Wing videos and replays of our streams on our YouTube channel. Just look up Gold Squadron Podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want to get instant updates. Hit the notification bell as well. We also have a Discord community with special roles for Twitch subscribers and YouTube subscribers and Patreon subscribers. So search for our Discord community. I think it's on our website. I don't know much about Discord. But lastly, and most importantly, is our Patreon. If you enjoy any of the content we have on our channel, and you want to help us continue expanding while getting awesome swag, go to patreon.com/goldsquadron. And I just want to thank everybody once again. Can we time this right? Marcel?
Gold Squadron out.
No, well, we're going to have to time it right.
What?
Are you guys ready?
What?
We're going to say it all together. We never do it. Dion only says it by himself. I'm trying to say it all together here.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Scum
Gold
and villainy.
Squadron out. Oh, all right. Done.
All right.
All right, we're still streaming for now. All right, what else do you want to talk about RPGs about? You got anything else? Hot takes?
I know I like the Star Wars system a lot. I think it's really good. That's literally it. I just really like that system.
They do. I know at Pastimes they do in-person RPG every Wednesday. So Ron, I don't think you've seen Ron anymore. Remember Ron Longy? So
Yeah, I mean, I still see Ron a couple times a year, but I don't know.
yeah, but
Richard has.
he's not really X-wing much anyway, and that's because he's doing other stuff, but also every Wednesday he's there, him and Andrea, but they're basically only doing RPGs.
Well, they're still playing card games, aren't they? Unlike
They love Destiny.
Yeah, they're doing Destiny and other things, but I'm saying as far as like when I see them, they're always on the RPG.
Well, I mean, X-Wing. X-Wing's not for. It's hard to go hard on X-Wing all the time. You gotta have other things going on. If it's like your only game or whatever.
That is my only game actually.
Here's my question for you guys. As far as RPGs, Richard, you said used to play old school like 3 and 4 edition. Have you played 5th edition? What was your thoughts on the new edition?
I'm running 5e right now. I am. We've gone from 1st to 3rd level. I've run a one-shots a couple of times before. It's funny because I don't know 5th edition, but I'm able to run it just fine. I love that.
It's just. Do you roll 2 dice and take the best one, or you roll 2 dice and take the worst one, or do you just roll a single die?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's more just like generally it feels like the best rules from some of the older editions.
Okay.
Ish, right? Because I'm a big 4E fan. I'm one of the dozens of us who like that edition. So that I liked like that edition, but like 5e is like someone said this. I think I heard it on Adam Cobill's podcast that like 5th edition is everyone's second favorite version of Dungeons and Dragons, and that feels true.
Really? It's my first favorite.
I'm running 5e. I like it. What I like about it is there is more support for 5e than for any game I've ever run. If I want to get rules for new items, like random encounters, adventures, any sort of options or rules that you wanted to run, I could get them maybe for free because the Dungeon Masters Guild is pretty cheap, or for pretty cheap, and that's awesome. Like I feel like running 5e, I am less of a writer and more of a curator. Right, the players are in this situation. and they're doing this thing, so I'm going to go and look for, like, we'll say they're they're traveling through a dangerous woods, right? So I'm going to go um, I'm going to go find rules for traveling through dangerous woods, like random encounters and stuff. That's there. I don't have to come up with any of that. And then I'm going to go to adventurelookup.com and I'm going to look for adventures that are happening in the dark woods that are scary and that I could easily adapt to the game I'm running right now. And I just run that adventure, and then throw whatever like big lore stuff in there if I need to. And then if I want to see a couple more adventures, I go and steal a couple more, and it all feels incredibly easy to do. Um, there's so much stuff that I don't have to write anything. I can use professional writers that wrote a whole bunch of free adventures I can just steal. I don't know. That's the thing I like about 5e is the insane amount of support it has.
Like more less like written books and stuff, but more of like community support.
Yeah, like and not just like, and I'm talking professionals too. Like there's so much there are so many companies writing for 5th edition for pretty cheap to very like well-made books that you could run whatever you want to run and not have to come up with anything for it, or at least only come up with the things that you want to come up for, and you can offload that mental labor for other from other people, right? Like I wanted castles and armies in my game, so I just bought strongholds and followers, and all those rules are true. And now I don't have to come up with any of that stuff. They have their stronghold that gives them special cool ass abilities and political stuff they can do, and like units that they can go send to like fight other armies and stuff. That's all made by a guy who was smarter than me, and I can just use that stuff and come up with, they're bad guys they're facing or something. I don't know, like stuff that I like have more fun doing. So I do like 5e for that. Like I just wish that I liked 4e combat more. I thought 4e combat was really fun, but I'm a war gamer, so it had a more war gamey feel. It was, if it would have been branded as D&D Tactics, it would have been great. But they called it D&D, and it killed a lot of sacred cows. But the fights are really fun.
What, 4th edition?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I liked 4th edition fine when I looked at it. It felt like D&D the MMO.
It doesn't feel like D&D for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that was my problem with it. And problem with it is very loose. Like I would play a 4th ed game, like whatever, like it's fine.
Yeah, you did great before your game, Tyler.
Yeah, well, I mean, like here's the secret. Like if we're gonna sit down and play a role playing game, like I'll probably have fun regardless, right? Like, because I'm gonna make sure I have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's the opinion. I've never played 4th edition, but I listened to like a podcast who was playing 4th edition, and that's the thing I got out of it was that there's a million like cool things to do in combat, but there's like
almost too many.
Yeah, but there's like outside of combat, there wasn't really too many fancy rules. It was just skill checks and things like that.
I think skill challenges are cool if you know how to do
challenges.
Yep. Yeah, skill challenges are cool if you know how to do them right. But that there wasn't like you had to go find the advice articles for that. The support for 4th. If 4th was supported the way 5th is, with like the opening, like that was to me that was the major problem they did. Is this 4th edition was always built around the idea that there was going to be a virtual tabletop that never existed. And because of that virtual tabletop, they didn't do the open game license. And so all of the third parties were really kind of shut out. And when they could still be doing the third parties could just do Pathfinder and make the same amount of money. So I think that those two things really kind of were mistakes on Wizards' part. But the game itself is fun. There's a lot of bookkeeping. But if you're into 4th, you can steal stuff from 4th and just copy paste that into 5th. I do that all the time. Like when I give players in my games, when they defeat like a super badass guy, he might have like gauntlets or something that like give them a old 4E ability, like the paladin's sword gives them the ability to grant saves as what used to be a minor action. Now it's a reaction, and then to do the old 4E taunt ability that they used to have. And yeah, so I do stuff like that all the time. You can throw 4E stuff into 5E games. That's actually what makes 5E fun. Is it doesn't take much to modify into doing what you
No,
want.
I think that's why 5th edition is my favorite system I've seen as far as D&D. As far as like a D20 system, I'll say that much.
Oh, mine's
Um,
actually, if like grand scheme of things, have you tried out 13th Age?
No,
I'm gonna send you.
send me some links. Send me somebody playing it.
If you were liking, if you like D20 games, the two that I think are the one I think it's